want to make sure that I acknowledge the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley, because Tiege Hanley sent me this new pack. They sent me the new Tiege pack, so I just literally pulled the paper out, got it out of the mail, and I started going through it, and I got a little bit more excited than I should. You know what I'm saying? So they did send me the Tiege pack, and I don't even know what this is yet. So I'm assuming this is what you get when you first order your Tiege, and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is dope. This is absolutely dope. Is this a nail kit? Ladies, get this for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. This is free. This just comes with it. 30% off your first order, plus 20% off for life. Literally. Oh, snaps. I didn't know that they were sending it like this. Real talk. So this is the nail kit that they sending you. All right, so now you ain't looking like a dusty. This is a free gift straight from Tiege for the people that ordered the Tiege. They got the small one for the little hands like mine's. They got the big joints for your toenails. And then they got the joints at the bottom too. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that's a little bit more crustier than usual. All right, so that's one of the free gifts that Tiege got inside of the pack. And then what is this? Says squeeze a quarter-size amount of Tiege Hanley body wash on the center of the wet bristles. Lather, scrub, rinse, and repeat for the perfectly satisfying wash every time. So that's inside of there also, right? Ooh, I can get my rubber ducky on right here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege for sending me that uncomplicated skincare for men. And then what we got in here? We got the actual Tiege pack, right? So this is the normal Tiege pack. But then they gave me the supersized joint for the people. They wanted me to show the people exactly what they got when they ordered that first Tiege pack, when you're getting your 30% off your first order, and then you get your free gifts. You get 2 free gifts, and then the 20% off for life. So the 20% off for life is a new thing. And, dang, I ain't even got my keys on me to open this up. Maybe I can use the little nail clipper thing. I ain't got to buy no nail clipper for my new joint downtown. And then you get all of the washes, all of the scrubs, all of the AM, the PMs, and all of that stuff. So you got the whole thing inside of there for you to make sure you take care of yourself. But you got to make sure you take care of it every day, right? We don't want to miss days. We don't want to be looking like dusties. It does not absolve you from being able to make sure that you brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. It don't fix the teeth problem. Don't fix you ironing your clothes. Don't fix you being able to take care of your business. But it absolutely makes sure that your skin is phenomenal, even when you go in between shaves. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege Hanley. We absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold us down. I might do an official Tiege commercial, but I like just talking authentically to the people. I like giving the people the authentic look of what it is that you're dealing with, and I want you to hear from me personally. Because anybody can do that little pitch and they can make some little videos, but very few of us can actually speak to the products of exactly what it is that you're supposed to use. So yeah, Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order and then 20% off for life. That's the Anton Daniels pack, 20% off for life. Using any other Tiege pack, make sure that you go ahead and let that go. And make sure you tap into the link that's in the description and take care of it, all right? What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and it is a quiet, whisper quiet Monday because it is the holiday, and I expect to be before you guys for a hot 2 hours. We know that there's a lot of people that still sleep because they're not into their normal routine and all of that. But it's okay because what we do here is we don't stop. We don't slow down. We don't stop the gas pedal. We don't do any of that. So first and foremost, I want to make sure that I acknowledge every single one of you guys that is here today, that is participating on the Millionaire Morning Show. Give yourselves a round of applause. Because this is just a reflection of regular life, right? People think that just because it's the holidays, most people don't even know what they're celebrating. It's just another opportunity to pull up to the barbecue pit or to get another day off of work, which is cool if you can take advantage of it. But I don't know. It's just another day for me. It's just another day for me to go ahead and take care of business. As a matter of fact, I'll do you one better. I think that it is an opportunity for me to get a leg up on the competition. Even on the weekends, or even when people, a lot of times, they hate Mondays, or they lethargic, or they call off on Fridays, or they call off on Mondays and stuff. I always took that as an opportunity to get ahead of them. You know what I'm saying? And I just got this mindset. I just got this dedication of what I do, because I love what I do so much that I just want to win. It's a competition. So, it was an interesting weekend for me. 2K was here in Detroit, and we was just filming. It wasn't even no partying. I ain't even going to cap with you. It wasn't no partying. We was filming. We was shooting. We shot so many different. Man, listen, season 2 of Let's Rant About It is going to be crazy. If y'all have not subscribed to this channel, if you have not subscribed to the Anton Daniels channel, if you're not a part of the Millionaire Morning Show and After Hours, then you are severely missing out. It's going to be a crazy, crazy thing. And when 2K is here and he filming, and Randy too, it's insane. So we got a lot of things that's lined up for y'all. A lot of great plans. Some I can, talk about, some I can't. But we'll talk about that later. But how y'all doing today? It is Monday, September 2nd, 2024. You already know that the best day to join the Patreon, what is it? Come on, Bag Chasers. Let the new people know that's going to be restreaming this. The best time to join the Patreon and the Bag Chasers is the beginning of the month. Let me say that for the people in the back, because I know that a lot of people like to wait. They like to try to figure it out. I don't know if I'm going to forego some McDonald's today in order to make sure that I join the Bag Chasers, because I know we got Stock Club coming up at the end of this week. And then we got the real estate stuff that we're about to start deep diving into, and all of this stuff, right? And so people won't, they don't want to invest in the thing that's best for them, but instead they'll wait and let other people pass them by. So listen, yesterday was the best day. Today is the second best day. So I'm going to remind you that if you are looking to rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, the link to the Patreon is in the description. I'm not even sure if we got it pinned to the top of the chat yet, but I'll make sure that it's pinned to the top of the chat. But it's definitely in the description of the video. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is there. All right. Also, shout out to Tiege Hanley. We love the Tiege Hanley family. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, stop waiting for the ladies to get it for you. Tiege Hanley is absolutely a phenomenal product. They've been rocking with us for so long. I love my Tiege Hanley family. I'm thankful for them. And you guys should really embrace Tiege Hanley. It is a phenomenal product. The link is in the description for that also. And then last but not least, I got a flight this afternoon, but we still got the Q show today. So I'm still going to be on the Q show. I'm just going to be shooting it from a different location. I got to go and shoot some content for Dr. Phil again. So it'll be my second time on Dr. Phil. First time it was a daytime show. This time it's going to be prime time. So we shooting for Dr. Phil. And then we got some other things that we got to go and shoot for all throughout this month. And we got some great things popping off. How y'all doing today? What up, Russ? What up, Ari? Sister, you on a treadmill? Shout out to my treadmill ladies. Point of View says I'm just here for the money talk. First of the month comes too fast. No, first of the month, I can't wait for it. The year has been popping. It's been the best year of my life so far. Shout out to Bobby Sherry, Ghost Malloy, Peter Investor, Patrick BTV. Shout out to everybody, distinguished gentlemen. Jennifer is in the building. Primetime 87, Ricardo Garcia, Turfberg Ferg. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Yannick says 80 don't miss. Oh, you like the rolls? Don't worry about that. Don't tell them about that. We just chilling. You said you only take Thanksgiving and Christmas off. I do neither. So I do neither. You know what I'm saying? It was so funny because when I came into the show and we were about to get started with the show, I got a show put together for y'all. We're going to be a little bit more, we're going to try to be a little bit more lighthearted. And we're going to try to get y'all back to y'all sleeping positions because I know that none of y'all is at work right now, except for me. I'm the only person in the studio. But when I came in and I seen my work computer and I was thinking to myself, oh, let me go ahead. Nothing to dial into. So free money, I guess, free money for those of y'all that like to take advantage of that type of thing. Let me read some of the super chat. The reason why you're a competitive grinder is because you're an Aries. How you know I'm an Aries? You know what I'm saying? How you know what I is? Victor Williams is in the building. Victor Williams says, morning, family. Shout out to my dog, Victor Williams. I appreciate you. Turfberg first says, morning, AD. I assume you heard of the chase glitch, letting people withdraw more than they have. The usual suspects are now getting in trouble. Yeah, listen, y'all. When you see these things come across your social media timeline and people start to do all of this dumb stuff, let me just tell y'all, it's never worth it. Whatever little dollar amount that you get, I remember back in the day, right? This was back when, and I was making a decent amount of money. So first of all, you couldn't entice me with a little bit of money. Secondly, I was never the type of person to mortgage my future for the current. But I remember back in the day, it was a homeboy of mine's, and he said, Anton, I got this little finesse. You know what I'm saying? I got this thing. I said, what are you talking about? He said, dog, you know what I'm saying? I got these checks, and all you got to do, because I know you got a bunch of girls that you know, all you got to do is have them deposit the money into their account, and then we going to withdraw it. Now, sitting there, and this was supposed to be somebody that was my friend. I said, wait, what? He said, look, man, and he pulled the checks out. I think one of them was for like 9,000 something. The other one was for like 11 grand or something like that. He said, dog, you know what I'm saying? Just get one of the girls, get one of them girls that you know, have them deposit the check, and then we're going to withdraw the money and we're going to bust it down together. For $20,000. I was like, back then it was a little different because this was the early 2000s, 99 to the 2000s, right out of high school. And I already had a good job and everything like that. First thing I did on him, bang, we not friends no more. Bang, we had to flip. Some of us had flip phones back then. Bang, we not friends no more. I can't be friends with somebody that's out here finessing. Listen, first of all, it's a dumb scam. Because once the girl get caught, she going to be like, oh, Anton put me on. Oh, no, it wasn't my fault. This is Anton. So you think I'm about to sacrifice my freedom. I'm about to sacrifice 2024, which we up here running up a crazy bag. I'm about to sacrifice 2024 for $2,000. For $20,000. And that's the mindset that I kind of have when I see these people that be running up these chase scams. It's stupid to me. It's stupid to me. First of all, look, that sounds like a setup from the beginning. That sounds like somebody is on the phone with me and they may have got jammed up and now they tapped in and they wired up and they got the police on the other end or they record me. Man, get out of my, man, bam, bam, never. Me and you are no longer friends. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to kick it. Shout out to Turfberg Ferg that's in the building. Don't ever call me again ever in your life. I don't even want that type of element around me. Either you working with the police, which is cool, because I ain't doing nothing anyway, or you a fool and you going to get caught up anyway. So let me go ahead and hit back then you could bang out on somebody because you actually had the flip phone. Let me hit the bang out on these dudes to get them up out of here. Let me read some of these cash apps real quick. Shout out to Daryl Richardson, says, I sub to you on YouTube and I can't find the bag chasers. If you can't find the bag chasers, the link is in the description. The link is in the description. I'll make sure that it's pinned to the top of the chat if it's not already. Somebody in the chat, let me know if it's pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to W.L. Wilson in the building. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you, my friend. Mike, that dude, as usual. I appreciate you, bro. Mr. DJ in the building says, I got it for you. Salute. Shout out to Mr. DJ. And ESDC in the building. Thank you for always holding me down. I love you. I appreciate you. You guys are the best ever. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. You know what it is. First of all, let me go ahead and give you a preview of what we got coming up. Number one, we got to get quick hits out the way. Number two, we're going to revisit Ricky Pearsall, Pearsall, which is the guy that got shot, the NFL player that got shot over in San Francisco. We're going to knock that out. We got to talk about the Dallas police officer, the rookie cop, that it was a setup, execution style. We have to talk about the migrant takeover of these cities. We got to deal with that. We got to deal with a woman that just recently got fired for her job that's going viral as a result of it. the Boars head, Listeria Outbreak that killed over 9 people. We got a lot to go over today, so we're going to go ahead and try to expedite the process. We are 15 minutes in, which means we got an hour and 45 minutes to get done with the show. And then Tom Dog got to go ahead and get prepared to go and catch my flight, to go and shoot this content because it don't stop, and I'm a bag chaser. I'm the #1 bag chaser, and so I got to be the example for you guys. Let's go ahead and get started, y'all. Quick Hits is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think that we have to bring every single segment into its own thing, but we definitely want to keep y'all informed on what's happening in these streets. First things first, ladies and gentlemen, all right? A Chicago woman was killed in a drive-by shooting. Check it out.
We begin with breaking news update. Detectives are trying to track down the man behind a deadly drive-by shooting. Police say it happened in the West Pullman neighborhood just after 9:30 last night. CBS News Chicago's Noel Brennan shows us how community groups are helping to prevent another night of violence.
The police tape has been cleared, but violence prevention groups are now at work in this neighborhood, just hours after a woman was shot and killed on a front porch.
We knock on doors and talk to people in the community.
On Labor Day weekend, the work of Roseland Ceasefire does not stop.
To help prevent the violence and the unnecessary shooting and killing in our communities.
Aisha Monette is part of an outreach team walking the neighborhood near 118th and Indiana Avenue.
Trying to get more information about the shooting and also help prevent retaliation.
It's always different the next day when you see people back outside.
Street Pastor Donovan Price is here to comfort the community after a shooting Friday night.
Kind of a tumultuous scene, it was a shocking scene.
A drive-by shooter left behind more than 24 shell casings on Indiana. Chicago police say a man in a dark-colored SUV fired the shots at a man and woman on the front porch of a home. 49-year-old Katrina Brown was hit twice and died at the hospital. Police say the man on the porch, who had a concealed carry license, shot back, but the drive-by shooter got away.
It could be our families. It could be anyone, but it's so unfortunate for someone to lose their life due to unnecessary gun violence.
This outreach team is on the streets of Chicago at least 3 days a week.
And we're not giving up until we get some kind of information.
And Pastor Price says he's out nearly every night.
I generally respond to the majority of the homicides.
He prays he won't have to do this work again tomorrow.
I'm hoping that the weekend will be a calm weekend here.
You can forget it, big dog. Let me tell you something. It's a fruitless, thankless job because the person that is over there doing a drive-by shooting it don't care nothing about you. And let me also say that the people of the community that knows who the person is that did the drive-by shooting, I would venture to say that the person that got the drive-by shooting done on him, the dude that shot back and then a 49-year-old woman that wound up getting killed, I bet you he know who his ops is. I bet you he know who the ops are. And it's unfortunate because she's probably, and I'm just assuming here, she's probably, because it sounds like it was a targeted attack, and this is what happens in our community, she was probably just the person that died as a result of being next to the person that was involved in stuff that they wasn't supposed to be into. 49-year-old woman, he already sitting up there strapped on the porch. She wound up getting killed. He know probably who the ops are. The whole neighborhood know who the ops are. They canvass in the community, doing the same thing that the police officers, in which we know that Chicago is removing shot spotter. We know that they're $1 billion in the deficit. We also know that they're down over 2,000 police officers. And we know that they have no clue on who did this, but everybody in the community does, but they're not going to go ahead and turn this person in. And so as a result, they're going to sit and blame the man. They're going to blame the system. They're going to blame white people. They're going to blame systematic oppression. They're going to blame everybody that they can blame. But we know how to fix our own communities. We know who the killers and the dealers are, and we refuse to turn them in. So this is the residual effect that goes along with it. The only thing that I would say is the good people of the community, like this pastor right here, be careful. Be careful, big dog. That's what's happening over in Chicago. In addition to that, hotel workers nationwide is deciding that they want to strike at the absolute wrong time. Check it out.
Tonight, some 10,000 hotel workers are walking off the job during the busy holiday weekend. From Greenwich, Connecticut to Boston, San Francisco, Seattle, and even in Hawaii.
We want our share.
The strike, expected to last up to 3 days in some cases, is affecting the Hyatt, Marriott, and Hilton chains. And workers organized by hospitality union Unite Here say they're fighting for higher pay, better staffing, and reduced workloads after months of stalled negotiations.
Wait. Okay. Higher pay, better staffing. Okay, cool. You fighting for higher pay for your workers. You have the right to be able to unionize. More workers. Okay, you can't really tell people how to run their business, but we can figure that out. And a lower workload? Hold on, wait. You want more money, more people, and to work less. Anybody that's a part of the Bag Chasers or anybody that's a part of Stock Club and you seen me go through the hospitality industry, you seen me show you exactly how much debt that they have, the level of competition that they're facing, especially from the Airbnbs and the private people. And then also on top of that, the margins that they have, right? Higher pay. Okay, cool. You want your people to make more money. More workers. Okay. The union is incentivized to get that because the more workers that join the union, the higher the fees and the higher the dues, and they make more money. Okay. Less work? How do we get so lazy? And they doing it at the time where most companies are laying off. Okay. They didn't bring all of the migrants over here for no reason.
Negotiations.
American hotel chains made major cuts to services and staff during the pandemic, but now travel has rebounded. But the workers say they're still feeling the squeeze.
The hotel industry has bounced back from the COVID era, right? They're seeing record profits now in 2024.
He's using the same talking points as Biden and the UAW. He don't know what he's talking about.
We need some of those profits so that we can actually be back at that standard of living and moving forward.
These strikes may be the first of many, with the potential for more joining in other major cities in the days ahead.
How do you think the guests, the travelers, will feel this?
Well, in many hotels, I think you'll see limited services. So there may not be daily housekeeping. The pool or the gym or the spa may be closed while the guests are there.
We reached out to the chains impacted. Only Hilton responded, saying they remain committed to negotiating in good faith to reach fair and reasonable agreements. Workers hope the major hotel brands will come back to the bargaining table soon and that they can get back to providing the experience travelers deserve.
I would just fire them all. Okay, cool. Hey, Jesus, Miguel, Manuel, y'all ready to start working? Y'all ready? Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. That's all you hear from people that are foreign workers. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Hey, man, what y'all doing over there? Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Anyways, so that's what's happening over at the hotel chains nationwide. They starting to strike. So if you traveling, be a little bit more careful about that. And then last but not least, this is an interesting story about a man that was rescued after he was abandoned on the trail by his coworkers. Check it out.
Now to the man whose coworkers left him behind on a hiking outing, getting lost in a violent storm and surviving a harrowing night on the mountain there. Trevor Alt is here now with more on this story. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Gio. So this was just a brutal hike for this man in Colorado. He was lagging behind his coworkers climbing that mountain. They went back down without him, and when he got lost coming back, it took them hours before they finally reported him missing.
This morning, what started as an office hiking retreat turned into a rescue expedition in Colorado after a man was left behind by his coworkers. Officials say a group of 15 people started to climb 14,000-foot Mount Shavano early Friday morning, but in what might cause some awkward encounters at the office in the coming days and weeks, one member of their party was left to complete his final summit push alone.
Our subject was getting close to the summit and took a break. And some of the people who were in his group were already starting to head down. He decided to carry on up to the summit.
On their incident report, rescue crews say once Steve Stefanides started to climb down, he became disoriented, claiming his coworkers had picked up the objects which they had placed to mark the way back.
Sound like they tried to leave him for dead. Oh. How y'all gonna pick up the markers, but you seen me going past, and then on my way back down, I don't know what the hell is going on. Sound like he must have buzzed down some chick, somebody's wife or something like that, because this sound like a setup. Honest to God, it sound like a setup.
Soon lost, Stefanides pin-dropped his location to his coworkers, who told him he was going the wrong way, urging him to hike back up the mountain, which he did to reach the correct trailhead. Later, Stefanides sent his location a second time, but then a strong storm swept through, and he lost service just before 4 p.m.
You need to get that new iPhone. You know, it's a satellite service. It's not interdependent on whatever it is that's happening on the ground. Got to get that new iPhone. Got to get that new iPhone. Hey, they told him, hey, go back up the mountain and go down the other trail. Hell no.
His coworkers didn't report him missing until 9.
He basically got kind of a little bit disoriented as to where the trail was.
Stefanides spent the night stranded on that mountain, telling rescue crews he fell repeatedly and was eventually unable to get up.
Being in those kind of cold, freezing
Probably
rain
old
winds,
too.
It takes a toll on you.
It wasn't until Saturday morning when the weather cleared that he thankfully regained cell service and called 911, allowing rescuers to finally zero in.
All of the teams that were involved are all volunteer rescuers. It's tiring, but it's rewarding when we go out and find people and are able to reunite them with their loved ones. It's fantastic.
Now, we know this man was taken to the hospital. We did reach out to him and his son. They directed us to the company, who in a statement tells us this was a charity hike, and they are grateful to the rescue crews for ensuring their colleague was returned safely. Definitely going to be a weird return to the office, though.
It's time to find a new job. Your coworkers don't like you. See, I don't believe in doing expeditions with people that I don't like, or coworkers, or all of that stuff. Like, we can go to lunch together, but we not going on no Colorado hike. They seen that he was lagging behind and they just didn't mess with him anyway. So, you know what? Honestly, this sounds like a setup. They all went home and went to sleep. Dude was stuck up on a mountain overnight. Man, get out of here with that, dog. And thankfully, he had probably had an extra charger. You know what I'm saying? He was a little up there cold, little discombobulated, but see, he learned a valuable lesson this time. No new friends. They don't give a F about you. They don't care nothing about you. And if he don't go back and he don't start raising some hell in some type of way, yo, I'm suing the company, something happening, then he a sucker. He a sucker. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's your quick hits. All right, let me go ahead and get straight into this next story. I want to deep dive into it, and I missed a lot. I'm going to read that super chat right out of this after this first story. Ricky Pearsall. Ricky was shot in San Francisco, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to bring you this story, but let me just preface this by saying that American cities are falling. They have now become war zones, which is basically the theme of this show. These places have become war zones, and it's unfortunate. Now, the only reason that they're being held accountable, because I've been calling London Breed's name, and I've been pushing for people to push San Francisco and these western cities, and we're going to get into the fact that they even giving California illegal migrants up to $150,000 to be able to buy a home. We're going to get to that. But they basically ceded the city over to the criminals. And first, you're going to see Oakland fall, and then it's going to have I don't want to say that. It's going to start replicating over into other cities in the West before it starts to sweep back over into the rest of the United States. Because usually, as California goes, that's how the rest of the United States goes. You don't believe me? Okay. Well, how about we go ahead and just reference what the EPA laws are, and then that determines what cars get sold in the United States of America. Because why? California has a huge population. They're the ones that are the most concerned about climate change. They're the biggest tree huggers. And so what you have is a replication of what the laws are in California starting to impact who's selling cars where and what type of cars they can sell, which is where Tesla was born, right? And then it's now starting to affect other automakers as far as whether or not they're able to compete inside of the United States of America. Similarly to Dodge, Stellantis, Chrysler, whatever you want to call them, they are now having a problem because they can no longer afford to sell V8 vehicles. And now they're starting to introduce the electric charger, which most people don't want. It's just the truth. because they don't want to replace their big vehicles and they want a choice of whether or not they want electric vehicles versus having to be forced into it. And so it's similar to what happens as far as crime, laws, all of that stuff starts to replicate. And usually Californians, it seems like, populate faster than everybody else. And so what they do is they wind up selling their home. They take their liberal views and their liberal policies and they take to Austin, they go to Houston, they go to Florida, they go to New York, they go to Atlanta, they go to Miami, they go to all of these different places, and they start to transform those places into the place that they came from, even though they're running from it because it didn't serve them. Check it out.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. Thank you so much for joining us. A live look there in Washington, D.C. here on this Sunday, covering all of the top headlines, both here and abroad. Another live look on this Labor Day weekend. We entered the month of September, just about 2:30 on the East Coast, following all the latest headlines here or there as we near that were killed in the act of San Francisco, a tragic, near tragic event just a weekend before the NFL season kicks off, as 49ers wide receiver Ricky Pearsall is in serious but stable condition after an attempted robbery shooting. His mother posting on Facebook that the bullet missed his vital organs. Some good news there out of this story, and I want to give you more information about it here on Live Now from Fox. Of course, said he is in good spirits after the bullet hit his chest, exited out the back, and the shooting wrote on Facebook as Pearsall was shot Saturday afternoon during an attempted...
Is that mama? Is that mama or his girlfriend?
Robbery. The 17-year-old suspect in police custody. The suspect reportedly was trying to take Pearsall's Rolex watch at gunpoint. On Facebook, she said, "First and foremost, I want to thank God for protecting my baby boy. He is extremely lucky. God shielded him. He was shot in the chest and it exited out the back. Thanks be to God,
These
it
new
missed
moms,
his
they
vital
look different,
organs."
don't they?
So we're following the...
These new moms don't look like the old moms. Moms of yesteryear was a little different than the new moms.
Latest here on this, and our Fox 2 team was on the ground yesterday covering it all. This reporter Zach Sauce saying video of the 49ers draft pick Ricky Pearsall entering his first year in the NFL, walking to the ambulance after police say he was shot near Union Square. This is courtesy of an eyewitness on the ground. More reporting as the San Francisco police say the draft pick Ricky Pearsall was shot during an attempted robbery at 3:37 p.m. As being treated there at San Francisco General, where media briefed to be scheduled. And also we're hearing a statement from the San Francisco 49ers on this shooting yesterday afternoon, saying he, quote, sustained a bullet wound to his chest in serious but stable condition. We ask that you please respect the privacy at this time. Our thoughts and prayers are with Ricky and the entire Pearsall family. For more on this, let's go out to our Fox 2 team as they're covering this incident from yesterday.
Shooting happened around 3:30 this afternoon near Geary and Hyde, not far from Union Square. Officers tell us Pearsall was walking outside when he was confronted by a 17-year-old armed with a gun. A struggle ensued, shots were fired, and soon both Pearsall and the suspected gunman were taken to the hospital. KTVU's Zach Sauce live outside SF General tonight with the latest on Pearsall's condition. Zach.
And as you mentioned at this hour, Ricky Pearsall still being treated here at San Francisco General. Earlier, the mayor, the San Francisco DA, the police chief, all addressing the media. This after Pearsall was first almost robbed and then shot right by Union Square in the middle of a holiday weekend. A warning, the video you're about to see is graphic.
You know, how come they never address crime, or they never started to get tough on crime until it became so visible? And it happened on a busy holiday weekend in the middle of San Francisco. People was arguing with me over the internet yesterday about, man, San Francisco got the best weather. That's why people move there. No, it don't. No, it don't. Especially in the wintertime. It's Hawaii, Miami, and San Diego in that order. Trust me. I was looking around. I was searching. I was researching. I was talking to my friends in all of the different locations. And I was sitting there in the wintertime during the pandemic. I said, where is Anton going to go? I can go to Hawaii, right? But that's a little too far because I can't just make that quick flight back and forth, and I'm not going to be able to bring a car with me. And I'm going to be living here for at least 3 to 4 months. I can go to San Diego, but California was largely closed. But Miami had better weather, and Miami was open. I said, Miami it is. We went to Miami, and it was 80 degrees on New Year's Eve. They had fireworks. Christmas was dope. Everything was good. We was swimming in the pool. All of my friends back home was suffering. I said, y'all should be here. Y'all should be here. Neither here nor there. The point that I'm making, though, is going back to this whole situation is they didn't want to address anything, and you're going to see this press conference and all of the different thoughts and stuff. For some reason, it wasn't no concern or anything like that. Businesses has been leaving. London Breed has been spending more of her time championing the alphabet community. And of course, city that's ran by people that are of color, right? It's always cities with people was ran of color, but they never wanted to address any of the issues that basically drove these cities into the ground in the first place. But it had to happen to somebody of prominence in order for them to start addressing it.
5 shot ahead.
Cell phone video capturing a bloodied Ricky Pearsall moments after San Francisco police say the 49ers player was shot in the chest during an attempted robbery near Union Square. A man who asked not to appear on camera standing nearby.
Within a second, the police they came in, and then the guy that got shot, he crossed on the other side. He was shot on the left-hand side.
The 23-year-old receiver, who was drafted in the first round by the 49ers this year, was rushed to Zuckerberg San Francisco General.
Thankfully, Mr. Pearsall is in stable condition.
Police say Pearsall was in front of 777 Geary Street near Grant Avenue when a 17-year-old suspect from Tracy approached him just after 3 in the afternoon.
A struggle between Mr. Pearsall and the suspect ensued. Gunfire from the suspect's gun struck both Mr. Pearsall and the subject.
The suspect was also taken to the hospital and is now in police custody.
This kind of violence is simply unacceptable in our city, and we will do everything in our power to work with District Attorney Brooke Jenkins to ensure that justice is served in this matter.
There will be accountability for those who commit these types of acts in San Francisco.
Back at the site of the shooting, police spending hours collecting evidence. Those who witnessed the shooting shaken.
Very scary. Yeah, it's scary. Anything can happen in a blink of an eye.
Chief Bill Scott crediting his officers' quick response with the department's decision to beef up police presence in the area over the last few years, a presence police plan to add to.
Usually when things like this happen, people get anxiety, and we want to make sure that the public knows that we're there for them, so we will increase that deployment. And we were going to do that during the holiday season anyway.
And again, one person in custody right now, a 17-year-old, because they're a juvenile, their name being withheld. The DA says she plans to make a decision on charges by sometime early next week. Again, Pearsall right now in serious but stable condition.
Say that this
All right, thank you so much for that update. As we're following the latest here on Live Now from Fox, the 49ers, they do host the New York Jets on Monday Night Football in week 1 of that season.
I want to hear the district attorney.
And my office takes over that there will be accountability for those who commit these types of acts in San Francisco. We are not a city that will be tolerant of this type of conduct.
Cap.
And so I look forward to continuing to work with the police department. I thank them for their swift action, and I will continue to work to support the mayor in our efforts together to collectively make San Francisco as safe as it should be. This is a setback, but we will continue to push forward to make sure that we minimize these types of events in our city.
How many of y'all are tired of speeches? Me personally, I'm exhausted. I don't care about your speeches. I only want to see the results. We will not be the type of city that will let this go unpunished. These type of crimes. Cap, 17 years old. We probably know what the suspect looked like. We ain't gonna get into that because they haven't released it. But, you know, for some reason, I think I'll put my money on, don't worry about it. We'll get there. But I'm tired of speeches. I want to see, like, it's similar to what happens with Kamala Harris. When she jumps on the microphone and she just says a bunch of general stuff. Yeah, we're going to be here for the middle class. We're going to get tougher on crime. What does that mean? What exactly does that mean? Are we changing laws? Are we hiring more police officers? Are we working harder with the community? Are we less tolerant by being more tolerant and allowing people to steal up to $950 and stuff? Are we going to remove all of the vagrants and the drug use and crack down? What does that mean? Like, what real steps, tangible steps are we taking to then fix the situation and remove these people off the street in the first place? Let me go over to the police chief, I believe.
Questions, let's start right here. Is there any
Look at London
indication
Breed.
that Ricky was targeted because of who he is?
We need to stop electing these women based off of their looks. All right?
Football player.
No, there is no indication that he was targeted because he's a football player. At this point, we believe that this was an attempted robbery, and we're pretty confident about that.
Do you know what they were trying to
You know what's up with it, JG.
Well, we're not going to release that at this time. Information is still flowing in. We're interviewing the officers. We have to interview Mr. Pearsall. Of course, he's receiving medical care right now. So when we put information out, we want to make sure it's 100% accurate. Although we have a good idea, we're not ready to release that at this time.
He was described as stable. Can you shed any more light on that? Is this a life-threatening situation?
Well, that's
Read
all I
Super
can
Chat, Shirley,
say
thanks.
at this point because of HIPAA rules. He is stable, and that's what we've been advised by the medical team. And that's all we can put out at this point.
Maybe one day we'll see this same district attorney run for president of the United States of America. Ooh, my bad. I didn't mean to say that out loud. My bad.
You and then Zach.
Do we know for sure there was only one gun in this situation?
Yes, we believe it was only one gun, and that gun has been recovered.
And it was the suspect?
It was.
I want to hear from London Breed real quick before we go over to the next story because we ain't got time to be playing no games. They asking questions that we already know the answers to. I want to hear from the mayor of San Francisco.
Mayor, the PA mentioned that this is a setback. Can you comment just on the idea about San Francisco and crime and the new narrative, et cetera, and consequences of that?
Yeah, I would just say that it is very rare for something like this to happen in Union Square. And also,
But it's not rare for it to happen in San Francisco, only in Union Square.
as what was mentioned earlier, we have had an increase in officer deployment, specifically covering the Union Square area for the past couple of years. And so, unfortunately, this incident, we are glad that the victim will be okay. But this incident does set us back from all the hard work that we've done in order to make significant changes in public safety in San Francisco. We still have the lowest violent crime rate of any major city. We are on track to have record low numbers of gun
Let me back that up for 1 second.
violence. We still have the lowest violent crime rate of any major city. We are on track to have record low numbers of gun violence in particular in this.
So remember, when they say that we have the lowest violent crime rate of any major city, that's per capita. So that is according to how many people live in a city, and that is how likely you are to lose your life. When they say violent crime, they means like murder, okay? So it don't mean that you're not gonna get mugged. It doesn't mean that your car not gonna get broken into. It don't mean that it's not an outbreak of drug use. It doesn't mean that the streets is not being ran over by street takeovers. It does not mean that businesses are running away. It don't mean that taxes ain't high. Don't mean that it ain't a lot of police officers to even report on it in the first place. It just means that you're less likely to go all the way through and end up in the morgue there than you are in other cities. All right. So I want to make sure that they're using these key words and these key phrases to illustrate a thing, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best place for you to go to.
The city and the police department has done an extraordinary job in addressing many of those issues, investigating those crimes, and holding people to account, and more importantly, working with our partner in the district attorney's office, Brooke Jenkins, in order to make sure there is accountability. So this is a setback because a lot of that hard work and the data.
No. It's a setback because it was Ricky Pearsall, which is a first-round draft pick rookie, superstar, possibly superstar rookie, that's not going to be able to participate And it's costing the city a lot of money, a lot of visibility, and then also it's painting a bad reputation for the city as though we weren't already familiar with it. It's just that the national media is starting to get a hold of it, and it's making her look bad as a mayor. So you're going to see the mayor, the district attorney, the police captain, the police chief, the police. You're going to see the deputy, the mayor. You're going to see everybody pop out all of a sudden because it's building me a bad reputation, and this is going to come back to bite me when I decide that I want to run for Congress, or I decide that I want to be a senator. I decide that I want to be a governor. I decide that I want to be the president of the United States of America. I decide that I want to be a diversity, equity, and inclusion pick for vice president of the United States of America. And then I could push out the older person in order to make sure that I can then champion and celebrate the fact that, hey, I'm running for mayor, I'm running for president, I'm running for governor. I'm going to be the first black, this, and that, woman of color, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So they only popped out because they had to. Because too many people got their cell phones out and they over there documenting it and they telling y'all that it's bad out there and it's messing up the property values, it's messing up their reputation, and they have high aspirations. They're not just trying to be in that same position as they was, because we historically know that mayors and district attorneys from San Francisco, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, they have higher expectations and greater political careers that they can leapfrog off of this smaller position to ultimately become greater as a result of it, all right? So make sure y'all keep y'all ears peeled to the streets. Anton is going to keep y'all informed on what's happening, even on a holiday. Let me go ahead and read some of the super chats, and then we're going to continue over with the show because we got a lot to cover today. We're not sparing no prisoners just because it's the holiday, all right? Shout out to my rich friends, Mr. Lot. Said, thought about taking a day off, but the vlog reminded me that I got moves to make. Salute to the chasers. I was talking to Mr. Lot. On a coaching call one time. And Mr. Lot actually came to one of my meetups. And we had a meetup in Houston. I think it was the last meetup in Houston. And so we both from Detroit. And we was jumping on a plane together the next day. I believe it was the next day, but it was the next day we was jumping on a plane. We was taking the same plane, so we wound up running into each other at the gate because we both flying into the same city. And he was like, yeah, whatever, so on and so forth. And so we talking. And so I jump on the plane, and he jump on the plane, and everything goes regular, right? I'm going to tell this story. So then, a few weeks later, we jump on a coaching call, and he was like, man, that stuck with me. And I said, oh, the meetup, yeah, it was dope. He was like, no, the meetup was dope, but it stuck with me when we met up at the gate. And I said, why is that? He was like, cuz, man, he said that I thought that I was in a good space and I'm sitting in Delta Comfort. And I look up and you not still walking with me over there. You sitting in the seats that you was sitting in. And I was like, oh yeah. He said, but that's not the part that got to me. The part that got to me is that the entire time you was working on the plane. If I'm lying, I'm flying. He said the entire time you was focused on making sure you was working on the plane and nothing missed, no drops was left. Everything was still taken care of and you was on top of it and you was already preparing for the next day. So I think that it got to be in you. We can be inspired by what's going on around us, but it just got to be in you. If you a hustler, if you a go-getter, if you a person that's on your purpose, if you're not waiting on anybody to give it to you, then you usually surround yourself with people that have like minds that's going in that same direction. And I did pin a link to the top of the chat. So shout out to you, Mr. Lott. I appreciate you, big dog, and thank you for continuing to hold me down. Shout out to you, big dog. Let me read some more of these super chats, and then I'm gonna continue on with the show. Gail says, Anton, what do you think about Succession? Talking about the show? I don't know what you mean by Succession. You got to give me a little bit more insight. Thank you for the super chat. Patrick says, police department, we promise to allow every officer one extra flashlight on duty. Did I say it harsh enough, or do we have a problem here? They ain't even got no power, and if they too aggressive, then you're gonna sue them. The Bay Area is rough. Cali in general is no joke, says I like fried rice G. Shout out to you, my friend. I appreciate you. Pine Saw Lemon Scent says, AD, me and the wife saw this news from San Francisco, is that SFO, last night, and immediately canceled our October trip to visit her father I told her to pick a different city because that ain't it. Bring the father back to y'all. Bring the father back to y'all. Patrick says she looking like Trey on Friday when he wanted his dad's pew-pew. They shot an investment there. Shout out to Patrick. I appreciate you. My girl M says, just became a chaser. Let's get it. Natalia says she just became a chaser, y'all. If y'all not a part of the Chasers, link is in the description. Make sure y'all tap in. A hyena demeanor says, tired of the BS, action words, boss. We need words. We need actions, boss. And then we need the words to back up the actions. Shout out to Lee Barton. Lee Barton says, got a question, Anton. I paid $1,300 a month in mortgage payments for a 2,000 square foot home, including an HOA with a 3.5% interest rate in South Carolina. I was thinking of selling for more acres of land. Should I stay or should I go? Listen, I'm going to tell you this. I don't believe in selling property ever. And you got to give me some more insight on the HOAs because different HOAs operate a little bit differently. HOAs in condominiums, so buildings, like Florida, condos, HOAs in those buildings are much more impactful than HOAs that are in specific subdivisions. HOAs and subdivisions tend to not go up as much simply because they are not attached. And more importantly, those HOAs mostly go towards different things like bugs and pest control, as far as like mosquitoes and trash pickup and things like that. So those HOAs tend to be a lot lower. And I'm going to go over this type of stuff in the real estate thing that we got going on in the Patreon. Those HOAs tend to be a lot lower. So a lot of times we consider all HOAs equal. They're not. I don't prefer HOAs at all, but I do understand them in certain communities, certain environments. Some HOAs go to security. Some HOAs go towards, making sure that the streets got the little asphalt things in between them and stuff like that. So it depends on what it is. Me personally, especially considering what you described to me, you got very, very low interest rates. You're not going to get that interest rate. So stay with your 3.5% interest rate. I don't concern myself with the payment. I'm more concerned myself with how long you have that term. And more importantly, if you want to buy something else, just lease out what you have at that low interest rate. Keep it so you can continue to get the equity in the home, which ultimately contribute to your net worth. Just rent it out and then go and buy what you want. Rent it out and go and buy what you want. But don't sell your property. Do not sell your property, especially at that interest rate. Don't refinance. Don't go get a HELOC. Don't go get none of that. If you want to get a bigger place, if you just want more acres, if you just have to have it, because I would say that you should stay in your home until you try to pay it off as much as possible. But if you need to go and get something, just go lease it out and then go and buy the property that you want. All right. So that's my advice. I don't believe that you should ever sell it at all. So just continue to stick with what you got. All right, big dog. Great question. Turf says, with your views, what are your thoughts on a prenup? Always get a prenup. Prenuptial agreements, it just gives clarity. Women should get prenups from men. Men should get prenups from women. If you ain't got nothing, then it don't matter because you ain't building nothing. Some of y'all want to get prenups because you seen somebody else get a prenup. You so busy watching Tyrese. I think people should be more concerned about who they have children with than who they get a prenuptial agreement with. I'm not tripping on prenups. Most guys get killed in family court from children, especially if you ain't got nothing. But I think that prenuptial agreement should be standard. It is in other communities, including the Jewish community. So you can have clarifications and you can focus more on what it is that you're going to do and what you're building instead of what you're going to get if you decide to leave. So I do believe in prenuptial agreements, but most of y'all, especially a lot of these people that's out here that's only making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, a lot of them don't have nothing to divide up anyway. So I ain't even tripping about that. But yes, prenups are a good thing. Pearsall Lemon is in the building, says, good point. I'll fly my father-in-law to the A to see us. Yeah, give him a little bit of vacation and stay out of San Francisco. Shout out to y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's continue with the show. Venezuelan migrants. And I say Venezuelan migrants because I've been speaking on this. Prenuptial agreements do work. You just got to do it a certain way. If you want to go back and watch the live stream that I did with the lead attorney on this channel, we spoke about prenuptial agreements, all right? So just to give y'all a little bit of insight, number one, she can't sign it under duress. So you can't tell her to sign a prenuptial agreement a week, 2 weeks, a month before y'all get married. Y'all need to have separate lawyers. Also, she can't sign it under duress, so you should do it at least 6 months prior to you getting married. She should be able to live with the prenup and have it for an extended period of time and to be able to see it. And there's so many other things that you can do, but you need to work with a qualified attorney and ask them questions instead of just going off of internet talking points. These are some of the things that the lead attorney did have a conversation with me about, all right? So let me go and get into this because Venezuelan migrants, right? The hot story lately has been Venezuelan migrants taking over apartment buildings in Aurora, in Denver, and immigrants, illegal immigration coming into this country in general, all right? So we're going to start with one story, and we're going to go over multiple different videos because I want to illustrate a point. But let me bring you up to the most recent, up-to-speed, up-to-date video of the thing that's going viral that I spoke on last week in general. Check it out.
Here at 5, the new video surfacing today showing a huge problem with what some are calling gang violence at an apartment complex in Aurora. The video shows men entering an apartment building with several weapons and then busting down a door.
And all of this taking place at the apartments, which had become a crime hotspot in that city. Fox 31's Vicente Arenas was at that complex today as people were moving out, fearing for their safety. Vicente is joining us live from that complex with a closer look at that eye-opening video. Vicente.
I see you, man. I got you, big
It
dog.
is eye-opening, Erica. It is significant because this is the first time we've actually seen what has been happening inside that apartment complex at different times. This video, there's 2 different clips you're about to see. One of them, people carrying guns, and another where 2 people are just trying to break down a door.
The video shows a group of men walking up a stairwell at the Edge at Lowry apartment complex in Aurora. All of them appear to be carrying rifles and handguns, and the video shot earlier this month. One of the men can be seen talking on a cell phone. They all then gather around a door and go in. Another video clip shows men forcing a door open. But what or who they were searching for, not clear. The video was shot in the building where Cindy and Edward Romero lived until today.
Now remember this building, y'all. This building right here. Make sure y'all remember this building. I don't want you to forget it. That front door, this is the building that they running up in, taking care of business. And it's not just this building, it's multiple different buildings. They've already condemned and shut down one entire apartment complex over in Aurora. This is a second building that we're referring to in this story that went viral last week. And it's a woman in this building that also went viral, and we're going to play that shortly.
The video was shot in the building where Cindy and Edward Romero lived
Somebody give
until today.
Aja my email address.
They loaded up their stuff and moved out.
It's been a nightmare, and I can't wait to get out of here.
Molly says, who's giving them guns? Well, it has been reported that they have been breaking into gun shops and stealing them themselves. So it's not that anybody is giving them guns. Is that they taking what they want because we have lax laws here in the United States of America and we don't enforce them, and so they feeling comfortable. And whereas if I was to go out there and do something, I can't get away with nothing. They're going to be on me like white on rice. But they can get over here. First of all, they can come over here unvetted, and then they can come over here in a gang together as a conglomerate, breaking into gun stores, running amok, taking over apartment buildings, and now you got women like this having to put triple locks on their doors just to be able to survive.
This is how Cindy used to lock her front door.
Every day when we come home, we have to do this. Every time we go outside to take out the garbage, every time we try to go to bed at night, we have to keep it like this so nobody can kick in the door.
The couple's car and many others here were riddled with bullets after a shootout at the complex early.
Now remember, I want y'all to pay attention to this because I'm going to emphasize a point. Shout out to everybody that's in here kicking it on a holiday. That's why I love my people. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Now remember, all of these bullets that's riddling these cars, they showing you the evidence, they showing you the places that they're in front of. They telling you, they showing you the video, the Ring cameras and all of this stuff. Keep this in mind, all right? Let's roll.
Earlier this month, the Romeros say the trouble started when a large number of migrants began moving in. They had not been able to move out for different reasons.
We couldn't get any. We tried reaching out to the resources, but they told us since it was...
Dog got the Rockaware shirt on. I see you. Shout out to Dame Dash.
And actually condemned the building, we would have to wait until that was the issue, but we didn't want to wait for that. So the only help I got was after talking to you.
We showed council member Danielle Jurinsky the video. Today, she helped the couple move out and find a new place to live.
The city nonprofits have lined up to help the migrants that have come here, but nobody is helping the American citizens, the residents that are trapped in these apartment complexes.
The Romeros tell us others living here had been asking when they'd be moving out.
And this isn't just Americans. This is other Venezuelans that are living under this control, that are being extorted by the control.
So migrants being extorted by migrants, and the people that live there is also being extorted because they treating it like the Carter. Okay, cool. Well, let's continue on, right? Because again, remember this story. Now let's go back, right? Let's continue to have a conversation. Remember this building? All right, so the police is now there dealing with the gang. Now, I'm going to keep leapfrogging video after video after video because I want y'all to see something. Okay, let's continue. This is the police addressing the issue now that they have the national spotlight, saying what they say, and then we're going to react to it.
I stopped by here at 12th and Dallas, got quite a few of our officers out here that are out here tonight again. I've been out here for several weeks, making contacts with our residents, reassuring them about the criminal activity that's happening here and how we're going to address it. We're out here, we want to reassure the people that live in this community that we are actively investigating criminal activity that's happening and listening to them to so that we can learn anything that we're missing. You know, what are we missing, and actually find out what exactly is going on. We're out here because we care. I mean, nobody should be wearing this uniform if they don't care. And we want the residents and the people that live here to know that we care. We've been talking to the residents here and learning from them to find out what exactly is going on. And there's definitely a different picture. I'm not saying that there's not gang members that.
So remember, cars riddled with bullets. Ring cameras showing people running up with guns. Hammers kicking in doors. Woman got 5 different locks on her doors. We see it with our own eyes. People are literally documenting this stuff on social media in real time. And they're telling us, they're trying to convince us that, you know what, it's not even what y'all thought it was. It's not even. So you telling me that my eyes didn't see what I saw, and what the people that lived there saying that they couldn't get no help? And now all of a sudden, because we got all of this visibility, this is the same thing that happened with Ricky over in San Francisco. It's the same thing that happened with Ricky over there in San Francisco. You're trying to tell me that I didn't see what I saw just one video ago. Let me see something. You telling me that I didn't see what I saw? That ain't a real thing, that he don't got a pistol, he got an assault rifle with a scope on it, and he got a pistol too, and his dudes walking up with cell phone cameras and they going to different places. How do I know? Because the doors was different depending on what floor that they was on. The 3s and the 2s and all of that, they was different doors. Are you trying to tell me that I didn't see what I saw and that everything is just normal and business as usual, and it's not no Venezuelan migrant gangs that's walking over here with hoodies and Nike tech fits that's taking control and taking the rents of the people that's over there in these apartment buildings?
That don't live in this community. But what we're learning out here is that gang members have not taken over this complex. We've really made an effort to the last few days to just really ask the specific questions and the direct questions in terms of the gang activity and who's actually making sure that people aren't paying rent to gang leaders or gang members, that's not happening. And we've discovered here today and yesterday talking to so many residents that that's not the case. We've been talking about, and they've been sincere with us. We really believe that they are sincere with us.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So, all right. You got us. We didn't see what we thought we saw. It was all AI. Cool. So this Venezuelan gang, the Tren de Aragua. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I like to put the little extra on it, the little on it when I talk about it because I want to pronounce it correctly. The Tren de Aragua gang. Now, keep in mind this, right? Because as we have this conversation and we see them gaslight us, this is nothing new. Well, Anton, how can you say that it's nothing new? Well, because I've been reporting on this gang a long time ago. This gang is not only over in Denver. This gang has been over in New York. They over in Chicago. This is a worldwide conglomerate here. They're taking over the entire United States of America. I reported on this gang months ago over in New York City. You don't believe me? For all of my historic bag chasers, because I've been reporting on this migrant crisis over the last 2 years, tell me if you remember this one.
Police are trying to tackle the rapidly escalating violent crime among Venezuelan gang members in the city who have gotten into New York.
Fox 8's Linda Schmidt talked to the NYPD, who says this crime wave is one of their greatest challenges. She joins us live from the newsroom now. Linda, what can you tell us tonight?
Well, you know, basically what you just said right there, this is one of the NYPD's biggest challenges right now. Now, the NYPD expects the migrant Venezuelan gang crimes to actually get worse in this.
So wait a minute. This same gang that's running amok over in Denver and Aurora, that's terrorizing people over in Chicago, that has made a name for themselves over in the West Coast, has been being reported on over in New York, which basically substantiate the idea that Trump was absolutely right the whole time when he was saying that the gangs and these people, and people kept saying, oh no, he's just trying to scare us. He just trying to throw scare tactics and all this stuff at us. Trump said, listen, fam, crime is going down over there. They emptying their prisons. They letting the gangs come over here. And that it's an easier way for them to solve for it because they no longer have to fund and then continue to make sure that they lock these people up and fight the crime if they just let them over here in the United States of America. Let me let a little bit more play so you can understand what I'm talking about.
City before it gets better. They're waving the guns around.
Correct.
Waving guns and flashing gang signs on this video. The NYPD said,
listen, man, I don't even know what we talking about here. I don't even know why this is a thing. Why I have to present this to you in the first place. You should just believe me. Y'all believe Kamala Harris? Why do I have to go back and pull back the evidence from months ago when this gang was, when New York Police Department been fighting these people more than the Bloods, Crips, the GDs, Pyru on everything, Crip walking, shout out to C-Dub and Ice Cube and Mac 10, West Side Connection. Shout out to the West Side Connection. Listen. Why don't y'all just believe me? Why we got to even go into it? Because Kamala Harris said that immigration was under control and they got the stem of the migrant flow and they got everything right. Never mind. You know what? I'm going to just skip this video. I'm going to go straight over to the governors of Denver and Aurora, and I want to get their takes on this whole thing. All right, let's see what's going on because you know, our eyes are deceiving us. Let's just try to figure it out, y'all.
We have more from the mayor of Aurora. He's concerned that someone is funding these apartment takeovers. Watch this.
Somebody put them there, and somebody funded it. Whether it's federal government or not, we're trying to find out.
Ooh, listen, let me tell you, buddy. Mike Kaufman, let me tell you, Mikey, don't you know that you just committed blasphemy? You broke the sacred rule. You broke the sacred rule. You said, you nervously, and I know you want to take it back, you said that somebody put them there, and I don't know, and somebody is funding this, and I don't know if it's the federal government. Let me replay this again, because I heard Mike say what he said that he saw. All right? Let me see. Mike, what did you say? What did you say, Mike? Did you say what I thought you said?
One is funding these apartment takeovers. Watch this.
Somebody put them there, and somebody funded it. Whether it's federal government or not, we're trying to find out who.
Mikey. Miggity, Mikey. Hey, somebody told me that the likes is a little too low, but we cooking over here on a Monday, on a holiday. We cooking over here. It's over 3,000 people as of right now that's watching this on YouTube alone. We cooking over here. Mikey just committed one of the most sacred rule crimes of all time of any blue governor or blue mayor or blue city council person, anybody in politics. You know that you don't ever go against the establishment talking about somebody put them there and I don't know if it was the federal government or not. We know who it is. Everybody know who it is, but you whisper. You whisper. It's similar to what happened in 9/11, Mike. Let me explain it to you this way, because you're a little bit older, and I know that the boomers and the Gen Xers, they move a little bit different than us, okay? Let me explain it to you like this, Mike. We all went to physics class. Well, maybe some of us. We all know what happened, and really it started to question 9/11, but for some reason, George W. the second is still just gallivanting around and they chilling. If we want to talk about presidential immunity, am I doing too much right now? I figured since it was a holiday that we could get a little bit deeper into our thoughts instead of just giving y'all the news and reacting to it. Talk about presidential immunity. Y'all worried about Trump? I thought that Obama was over there let me be quiet. I thought that George W. Let me be quiet. I don't want to go into that. I thought that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden led a bunch of... I don't want to say that. I thought that Clinton was over there. Let me be quiet, because Clinton, they say Clinton was over there on an island doing things that was unseemly. I can't substantiate that. I would never say that. I'm telling you what other people said on social media. That has nothing to do with me. I love my life. I am not suicidal, and I do not want to kill myself. But what I'm saying is the person that they got to worry about the least is the one that they worried about giving immunity to. Oops. Oops. The person that they got to worry about the least is the one that they worried about giving immunity to. Oops. Oops. I didn't say it. I don't know where that came from. Sometimes I think I got Tourette's. I just be saying stuff. Talk about influencing presidential elections when we have Fonnie Willis and Andre Dickens meeting in the president's White House. On the docket, it says the vice president of the United States of America, but don't nobody want to have that conversation. Oops. Right before they filed the charges on Trump. Oops. Let me continue, man.
These gangs apparently are attracted to where there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants. And so they've, in fact, have kind of pushed out the property management through intimidation and then collected the rents.
Let me preface this by saying that I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying it. And this is all just an opinion based off of theories that I've seen other people say. This is not my true thoughts, and I can't prove anything. And I also love my life.
Arrests have been made, but these operations are still ongoing.
They're collecting the rent. Good Lord. Danielle Jurinsky is a city council member in Aurora, and she joins me now. Danielle, a spokesperson for the governor of Colorado, Jared Polis.
Don't worry about it. I'll have my editor take that part out.
They say this is all a figment of your imagination. Would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, I just would ask him, is this also a figment of the Romero's imagination and all of the other folks that I've spoken to at these complexes and that I've physically moved out? This is one heck of an imagination.
What are you going to do about this?
Well, what I've been able to do so far is bring this much attention to it. And I plan to continue to bring this kind of attention to it until this is addressed. I'm not going to sit back and let this be downplayed and let this be ignored. The governor can attack me all he wants, but I am going to continue to expose this, and I will continue to go into these buildings, and I will get as many people out as I can.
You got to get.
Shout out to her, but listen, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying much. I don't know what I'm saying. Sometimes I just blurt things out. All I'm saying is they want us to not believe what we see, but only pay attention to what we hear from them. Sometimes they slip up and they give us a little bit of insight. Sometimes Mike Kaufman over there in Aurora slip up and he said, listen, man, somebody is funding this stuff and we don't really know what's going on, but it might be the federal government, but we got to figure that out. I ain't dumb. I might be slow, but I ain't dumb. I might be a C student, but I ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's continue on with the show. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats, and then we're going to get it cooking. Jay Peasy, Too Cool, says, what's going on, everyone? Top of the day. Anton, happy Labor Day to all. This time and a half money is great. I'm the only one at work, literally. It's usually easier to work during the time that everybody takes off during the holiday. I'll give you an example. I historically never take vacation time or PTO time in the winter months during the winter break, because that's the time that everybody takes it. And then that's the time that the company usually expects for things to get slow. So usually I'm the only person online. I'm never being contacted, and I'm getting paid to be there at a time where everybody else is paying to be on vacation. It's the dumbest thing ever. And so you usually do your thing. Either you getting paid out at the end of the year as far as your PTO for whatever extra you have, or you take it during the time that you can throughout the year. That will be more conducive. And it's almost like you on vacation double time anyway. So I feel you, big dog. Let's hack this. Let's hack the system and get all the money. Byron Keith Coley says, tap in, AD, out here in Bermuda. Shout out to my people out there in Bermuda in the building. Eric Harris says, AD, they acting like people scared, not scared to snitch. Ain't nobody snitching. Ain't nobody snitching. Shark King says, what the F are the militias, the Panther Party, and no, y'all pay for the police department to go out there and to make sure that y'all taken care of. Not Mac 10, Seawalk and Pyru, Anton, it's only Monday. Shout out to Mac 10. Hey, I remember that song that Mac 10 did with the Dog Pound. Nothing but a caveat. What do you consider fun? That's the bomb. That's the bomb. All night and all day long. That's the bomb. That's the bomb. When you wake up in the morning and it's time to run. That's the bomb. That's the bomb. Dub SEC. Nothing but a cabbie hit. Yeah. DPGC. Desert Road 76 says, it's a huge international crime game. Corrupt governments partnering with drug lords. No wonder Trump is so hated. We need to vote this administration out. That's what he was here for anyway, to drain the swamp. Bro, it's a holiday. I think, where? I don't see no celebrations outside. You see any celebrations? I just looked out the window. I don't see nothing. Everybody sleep. That means it's time to go get the money. That means it's time to go get the money. Scab Blue says, have you seen where they have the National Guard in NY for Trump's trial? They're over a hotel there. Nope, I ain't seen it. Y'all got to send it to me. You got to send it to me. You got to send it to me. You know what I'm saying? Dub SEC. DPGC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, from the Rhyme and Reason soundtrack. Oh, y'all know about that. Trady and Goldilocks. So you familiar with that. Anyways, let me continue on with the show because y'all acting like I'm too old to hit nothing but a cabbie hit. That's on my playlist. That's no matter how toxic rap music gets, no matter how bad it influences us to do some of the worst things, we always gonna have nothing but a cabbie hit. Nothing but a cabbie hit from the Rhyme and Reason soundtrack featuring the Dog Pound Gangsters and Mac 10 on the playlist. All right. Anyways, let's continue over with the show. So, considering, and y'all know how it is, we only want to spend 10 minutes on this. We only want to spend 10 minutes on this subject. Considering everything that's going on in the country and that migrants are completely overrunning our cities and crime is just rampant out of control everywhere, including San Francisco, where Ricky Pearsall got shot yesterday. I want to go over this recently passed legislation that is sitting on Gavin Newsom's desk right now. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Gavin Newsom has been one of the most liberal governors and the worst governor in the United States of America. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Gavin Newsom has been one of the worst governors in the United States of America. And so California legislators, which does not only include Gavin Newsom, him advocating for certain things, but California legislators have recently passed a bill that is waiting to be signed on Gavin Newsom's desk that basically gives you, based off of how much the value of a home is, a certain amount of money, especially to illegal migrants, that is now a part of a lottery. So they all in together in order to get up to $150,000 towards a down payment for a home. Right after California spent $165 million on permanent homeless housing for one building, to which they're going to equate that to about $600,000 per unit, which is not even the cost of most of our homes or the average home in the United States of America. And they've spent over $28 billion on homelessness, not even to break a sweat on it. Homelessness is just continuing to run rampant over in California. But this bill in particular, ladies and gentlemen, is sitting on the desk of Gavin Newsom, and we're trying to figure out, I already know, if he's going to sign it and allow for this to happen with your tax dollars. Take a look. I know y'all upset, but take a look.
The California legislature has passed a bill offering down payment assistance to illegal immigrant home buyers. If Governor Gavin Newsom signs it into law, it will let illegal immigrants access up to 20% of a home's value, or up to $150,000.
Now, why is up to 20% of a home's value, as a person that is a veteran participatory person in real estate, why is a 20% relevant? 20% is the number, because you have to remember this, y'all. No state or legislative branch, even the federal government themselves, they cannot control housing, which is one of the biggest knocks that we have against Kamala Harris. When she says, oh, we're going to build all of these homes, who's going to build these homes? Are you talking about builders? Are you going to incentivize builders to do it? Because the only thing that they can do is give the money out for you to be able to do whatever it is that you do. I'll give you an example. Infrastructure deal, right? Biden promised all of these superchargers in order for us to be able to handle all of these electric cars on the grid. I just don't happen to like electric cars, but I like gas cars also. I have both, okay? So they passed this infrastructure deal, and they're supposed to be dedicating all of these billions of dollars in order to build these charging ports and this upgrading the grid and our bridges and all of this stuff in order for us to be in position to take advantage of the new wave of technology that's supposed to come, right? Smart cities, smart streets, and all of that. You know what he had to do? Give the money away. You know one of the people that he was negotiating with? Elon Musk. Elon Musk don't even support this administration. You know why they had to bend the knee? Because Elon Musk had already took the incentive over the last decade and a half in order to build the supercharger network, which then basically he's allowing for other automakers to use Tesla supercharger networks. And then that became a part of their landmark legislation for their infrastructure deal, which really wasn't. And so that money had to go somewhere because it had already been budgeted for, and Congress had already signed it into law, and then Biden had already jumped on that bandwagon. And then that's when you seen him negotiating with Elon Musk, even though Elon Musk knows that Trump should be president of the United States of America. And you seen Kamala Harris flip-flopping on fracking and all of this stuff because they don't know what they're doing. They're just doing stuff. And as long as they have your money, they know that there's going to be a new influx of money that's coming next year. And so they don't have no problems continuing to do the stuff that they're doing, right? And so that 20% number also is the number that mortgage loan officers, because you're not going to get it from the federal government. So when you start to go into mortgage loans and you get underwriters and all of this stuff, if you're putting 20% down, that makes a bigger difference. First of all, you get to avoid PMI. So illegal migrants by default are automatically going to be able to avoid PMI because they already have 20% equity in a property, which is you insuring against your own defaulting and paying the mortgage because you don't have enough for a down payment. So they already got a leg up on you. And now they already got equity into the property. This is one of the most disrespectful pieces of legislation to ever come out of California since Prop 46. Prop 46 was basically them continuing to let all of the criminals out and then allowing for the criminals to continue to steal from everybody that's out here in the streets and the taxpayers and the businesses, which basically drove an exodus of businesses from California in the first place and more homelessness and more rampant criminal activity on the streets of California and all of these cities as a result of it. And so now you've seen a death spiral, a doom loop within these cities because the businesses says, listen, we going to Texas, we're not staying in California. But they're basically giving them equity. They're increasing their net worth. Their net worth, an illegal migrant that can't even vote yet in the United States of America, not supposed to be, will already have a higher net worth than you, your son, your daughter, and everybody that you're going to pass some money over to because you just trying to survive and they already coming over here thriving.
California Republicans call the measure a handout that betrays U.S. citizens and incentivizes illegal immigration. Let's bring in San Francisco community activist and former Republican mayoral candidate Richie Greenberg. Richie, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Let's talk about this bill even more. It's called California's Dream for All Home Loan Program. This has passed a Democrat-controlled legislature in California. Now it's going to be up to Governor Gavin Newsom to decide to sign it. But loans up to $150,000, zero down, zero interest, 1,700 lucky people get to...
Zero interest. That's crazy. Zero interest. 1,700 lucky people. This is the trial run.
Through a lottery, get to take part in this program. And now Democrats, with this bill, allowing illegal immigrants to also take part in this. What do you make of this bill, given the fact that we are dealing with the housing shortage and crisis nationwide, but especially in California?
Yes, hi. Thanks for having me on this morning. So we have a couple of different ways that we can look at this, but unfortunately, we already have a lot of Californians in need. And the idea that you would have people who are here unlawfully, they've broken the law by coming across the border, they've somehow gotten jobs, they've somehow gotten Social Security numbers, and these are the individuals that would be potentially eligible to get this first-time home buying assistance on the dime of taxpayers here in California. Now,
don't cry now. Olivia, don't you cry now. All of your friends and your family says they voting for Kamala Harris. Don't cry now. Everybody over in California voted not only Gavin Newsom, but all of the legislators over there in California that is supporting this. Don't cry now. Y'all gave y'all country away. Your ancestors had to fight, was enslaved, fought with Indians. Everybody got chicken pox, whatever. Y'all don't cry now. Free money. Free money to people over here that came over here under the guise of asylum seeking, but was really giving your country. They gave it away for free.
This, as we can see, is a result of there being a supermajority of Democrats in our state legislature in Sacramento. And there's really not much way that we can push back against this. That Governor Newsom now has this in his hands. He's got the next 30 days to decide whether he wants to sign it or veto it. And our super majority of Democrats that are in Sacramento, they come up with all sorts of harebrained ideas. And this should be actually very scary because this sets a precedent. They say that what happens in California, so goes the nation.
Correct.
And we really wouldn't want to push this on any other states, give any other ideas.
Oh, it's gonna happen. I guarantee it. I guaranteed it. When Rasheed Wallace used to play for the Detroit Pistons, and then he guaranteed that we would go ahead and beat the Lakers and all of this stuff. We would call it over here in Detroit. We would say we guaranteed it. And then when Sheed catch the ball, then he would be able to fire up. I guaranteed it that if Gavin Newsom signs this into law within the next 30 days, I guaranteed that this will continue to take place across the United States of America. Similarly to how Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has already started to adopt some of the same policies that they're adopting over in some of these cities over there in California. This is not new. It starts off in the largest cities and it starts to proliferate into the smallest cities, right? Similar to how Eric Adams, he took what California was doing for the minimum wage law, and then he started to implement it with the gig workers, right? This is nothing new. All of this is the same thing. They look to each other, they see how they can maintain power, and they start to implement it in other states and in other cities, other large cities across the United States of America.
To, say, New York or Florida, any other place like that. This is a very problematic idea. It's very, very troubling. It's scary.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the median price of a single family home, let's put this up. It's now $439,000 nationwide. It is nearly $1 million in California. These are record numbers. Americans are struggling here to try to afford a home. And not only can they not afford it, in California, there is...
Yes, it did pass last week, but they're waiting for Gavin Newsom, the final boss. He's King Cooper of California, the final boss. They're waiting on him to sign it. He got 30 days. And he's going to leave us in agony, waiting to see if he's actually going to sign it into law. And he's going to wait till after the holiday before he makes a decision. So he could either veto it or he can sign it into law. But he's already been working with legislators before it ever even hit his desk, which is one of the reasons why they passed it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Watch. I'm going to stay on it. Don't worry about it. Are y'all not subscribed to the Millionaire Morning Show? Did y'all not hit a like for the algorithm? Are y'all not a part of the Patreon? The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Because I'm on this every day. Every weekday, I am giving y'all the best information possible so you can make an informed decision on what's best for your city. Every day. Every single day.
A 4 million home housing shortage in that state. You got to wonder why they are perhaps not prioritizing trying to fix that first. It's all about the messaging here. And speaking on that, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, she spoke with Bill Maher yesterday. And Bill Maher also seemed a bit surprised about the messaging coming from the Democratic Party at a time of need here for Americans. Let's take a listen to a clip of that.
So you'd vote for this law?
Excuse me?
So you'd vote for this law?
Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what it is, but making the...
How you not familiar with exactly what it is, but you've actually supported it and helped push it through to get to Gavin Newsom's desk in the first place? Listen, man, these mummified politicians are lying to you. The first thing that we need to do is have fucking term limits in Congress. Listen, it's the holiday. I know that the churches ain't even open. The daycares is closed. The truck drivers is out here delivering packages. We good. The first thing that we need to do is have term limits. I don't know. You can't word salad your way through this one, Nancy.
Well, I'm not familiar.
Don't y'all know? Didn't somebody tell me that Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom was related? Like that's her nephew or something like this? Let me do some research. Let me do some deep diving. Nancy Pelosi. The California governor, according to ABC, also related as family members. If you are particular, then yes. Gavin Newsom's aunt, Barbara Newsom, was once married to Ron Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's brother-in-law. So by marriage, I guess that's how they keep the power in place. By marriage, they are relatives. As Nancy Pelosi served in her 17th and 18th term in the House of Representatives and is, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
With exactly what it is, but making the American dream of home ownership available to all people is something we have to do for people who are here now.
This is before you're a citizen. This is undocumented. This is for the undocumented.
Well, what I would like to do is move them to documented.
And listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd. These are undocumented illegal immigrants into this country, and they're giving them a handout, a hand up, and the crowd is applauding this. So why should I feel bad for the very people that they're going to displace when you guys are clapping in favor of the thing that's the worst for you?
One of the best things that we can do for our economy is to pass comprehensive immigration reform.
Richie, you got...
Maybe I'm in the twilight zone. You know, the word does say in the last days that it was going to be like this, that the bad will be good and good will be bad, and that everything is going to be upended. But I just thought that y'all like to know what was going on in your federal government so that we can more or less have a better conversation and y'all can understand why I'm so passionate about the things that I'm passionate about. Let me read some of these super chats, and y'all need to get the likes up while I'm reading the super chats. I'm going to recheck the lights afterwards, and then we're going to go from there. Skilltree Gaming says, morning from California. I voted Republican enough. I'm moving to Georgia, investing in the real estate there. Shout out to Skilltree Gaming. Tame Chaos is in the building, says, Anton, speaking of PTO, when is the official announcement? Shh. I gave a little bit more insight to my bag chasers on the last stock club, and I was breaking down some stuff because I was relating it back to what we was researching as far as certain companies that we need to invest in or not. So If y'all want to know a little bit more about that before the general public, then you can go on to Patreon and look at the last Stock Club, and we'll go from there. It's the top video on there. Tame Chaos says, Anton, speaking of... Oh, yeah, you already said that. Shout out to you, my dog. Tristan Smith in the building says, to the hardest Merkin man on YouTube, good morning, sir. I tapped in late. What are the biggest challenges law enforcement face in tackling the Venezuelan migrant gang activity, and how can these challenges be addressed effectively? The biggest challenge that they have, believe it or not, is within their own legislative branches. It's the fact that their lawmakers are making it harder for them to actually get convictions. And when they catch these criminals, it's two things that's working against them. Number one, they have lax laws. So the judges is going to let them out easy. They're going to have the no bail system. And so all of the hard work and the man hours and the dedication and the funding and the resources that we put into catching these criminals is all for nothing. And so what happens is, actually it's three. I'm going to give you three. What happens is they end up right back on the street and it's not a big deal in the first place. That's number one. Number two, they don't have the support from the community. We don't participate in our own success and our own well-being. We actually look at the police officers as ops, which I'm going to do a story next to show you why that is. But we don't help and we don't actually participate in our own success because they are supportive services. They usually show up after something is happening, but we don't actually give them the insight, the help, and the wisdom to be able to catch these people and put them off the streets in the first place. That's number two. Number three, they are underfunded and understaffed. Over in Chicago, and I say this on a regular basis, over in New York in particular, they are down so many police officers, but on top of that, they're cutting funding to police officers and for them to continue to reinforce staffing because they have to continue to fund the migrant crisis and they have a funding deficit. Same thing over in Chicago. They have 2,000 less police officers than they should. But then at the same time, even if they did have enough police officers, they wouldn't be able to fund them because they operate at a $982 million deficit. So those are the three things that I think is the biggest thing. Thank you for the question. I think that that's a phenomenal question. Artifacts is in the building, says, I got the super sticker for you. Thank you for supporting the platform. Mr. Joe says, Gavin is the worst politician I've seen in my life. I don't know. George W. Bush II got something to say about that. Maddie, shout out to my girl Maddie, says, remember, they gave natives all type of gifts just to turn around and enslave them. Those immigrants are about to get that work. But they're going to endear themselves to the Democratic Party for the rest of their life, though. King Hawk says illegal immigrants get treated better than vets. That's a fact. Anwar Williams in the building says, what have migrants done for the tax base and the soil of this nation to deserve anything? It's not about migrants. It's about illegal migrants. Nothing. Send them back. Hashtag Trump 2024. Hashtag Barron Trump 2036. Oh, you want his son to run in 2036. Okay. All right. The Masked Man says, as a Californian, this is so idiotic. I'm not sure why this is a topic. Our state is already $40 billion in debt. That's true. Because Newsom lost the money and now this. I got friends that make $250,000 that can't even get a house. And that's a huge problem. Shout out to Ivan Drunya. Says it's all a trap. Get them into housing, keep prices high, tax everyone so no one can afford their house. And they will say they own nothing and be happy. Shout out to you. A7 Keys in the building says, to all 2,000 plus of y'all that are entering Anton's show with shoes on. Nope, more than that. More than 3,500 now. We're going to continue to go up as the show goes on. Check them shoes at the door. That means get them likes up. Shout out to you. Charles Blanco says, happy Labor Day, all. I'm on vacation and getting paid double time to watch the Millionaire Morning Show. What about homeowners insurance in Cali? It's almost impossible to get. You need to get rid of the Dems over there. Well, I told y'all. And I told y'all not to invest in California, but we're going to get into that. Shout out to you. Geo Black in the building says, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalms 118 and 24. All right. Shout out to you. Seek the Light is in the building, says, LOL, Newsom equal King Cooper, Biden equal Cobra Commander. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. My girl, Aja. Shout out to Aja. Says, they want to shut down Elon, lock up 45 as they have civilians defend themselves apart. She can be pushed in with no debate. Sent the video to your mail. Okay, thank you, Aja. I appreciate you, baby. I'll continue to read super chats throughout the show, and I do appreciate everybody that support the platform. Thank you to everybody that holds us down. Let's pivot. We got a full show, so let's talk about police officers. Let's talk about the community. Let me bring y'all up to speed on the Dallas police officer that was basically executed in an ambush.
Dallas Police Department is in mourning. One officer is dead, 2 others wounded after being attacked last night. 2 of those officers were rookies.
Yeah, the shooting happened in the 900 block of East Ledbetter in the parking lot of the 4 Oak Cliff Community Center. The officer who was killed may not have had any idea he was going to take gunfire. He was seated in his squad car. Fox 4's Sean Rabb joins us in the newsroom with more on what we know right now. Sean?
Yes, Blake. First, those 2 wounded officers, one shot in the face, the other's wound not as severe in the lower extremities. The fallen officer is Darren Burks, who grew up here in North Texas and touched many lives before his was snatched away. Sources say the suspect may actually have said something to the officer before he fired on him, as you said, sitting in his squad car. Scores of officers, shook by 3 fellow officers being shot, gather at Methodist Hospital in the pre-dawn hours.
Now, y'all do realize that these are fathers, sons, husbands, uncles, pastors. These are people that are serving in their own community and trying to keep it safe. And we have monsters that are running the streets. And we keep talking about, and they keep trying to dodge the real statistics. And I talk about this on a regular basis, that police officers are killed, maimed, and injured every single day on the job. Exponentially more than the people that they're saying that they're chasing and catching and treating unjustly. These are rookies, first years on the job, sitting in a squad car, making sure that the community is safe. Y'all keep saying that y'all want more of a presence, but at the same time, you're going to defund the police. And they being executed every single day. And they have no support from the people that they're keeping their neighborhood safe from. We always say, and I don't understand how we leave out police officers, but we always say thank you for your service to the ones that are serving us, or the Tim Walls that dodged going over and has got his stolen valor. We say to Tim Walls, hey, thank you for your service. But for the ones that's on the front lines and that we can see every single day, we don't say nothing to them. We just lead them out and we hang them out to dry.
Where new police officer Darren Burks was brought after being ambushed as he sat in his police vehicle in the 900 block of East Ledbetter a little after 10 Thursday night. The shooting, senseless to the entire police community.
Why are we dying at the hands of a person and we're not even in conflict with you? You don't even know me. You don't know any of these officers, but you go into combat with an officer? You blindsided? That's terrible.
Burks was able to somehow transmit over his radio after being shot. Backup showed up. Another rookie and her field training officer. Both were shot. The female officer more serious, taken to Baylor Hospital. Either she or her training officer may have been able to return gunfire, possibly hitting the suspect, who took off in a white sedan with more officers in chase. Part of that captured by TxDOT cameras along I-35 North in Louisville. The suspect stopped on the freeway and got out.
When that suspect exited that vehicle, he had a long gun. Dallas police officers then shot at the suspect, fired at the suspect, and he died at that scene.
Officer Darren Burks graduated Lake Highlands High School in Richardson in 1998. Later, continuing his education at Paul Quinn College.
Yeah, he was part of the first graduating class when I became president in 2007.
Quinn president, Dr. Michael Sorrell.
Darren was a loved member of this community. He was a wonderful fraternity member to his brothers at Omega Psi Phi. He was a wonderful alum to Paul Quinn. He invested in his institution, and we will miss him. We will honor his memory, and we are grateful that we knew him for the time we had him. We just wish we had him for longer.
Burks shaped young minds at Texan-Can Academy, where he taught math 17 years, all before a different calling with Dallas Police. The school sharing, he was not only an excellent educator, but a mentor to countless students and a cherished friend to the entire Pleasant Grove educational community.
He was a salt of the earth, fundamentally good brother.
And you know what the funniest part about this is? I be having people in my chat that'll sit here and judge him based off of the uniform that he wears. And they'll say, man, death to police officers. They need to get what they want and all of this stuff. And I don't know if these type of people troll, if they serious, if they just so influenced by Ice-T and NWA back in the 80s, and they grew up hating police officers as a result of one busting down their mama. I don't know what it is. But one thing I do know is y'all don't even realize that y'all are killing the people that are doing the best for the community. They the ones that are educating your children. They the ones that's doing all of the volunteer work. They reinvest back into the why is it that the good ones already get killed? And now he goes even further into public service. Only to have his life taken away just like that.
This is one.
No. Hold on. Where the Umar Johnsons? Where's the D.L. Hugleys? Where's the Ricky Smileys? Where's the Charlemagne the Gods? Where's all of the blackity blacks that's out here that always say that Black Lives Matters? Where's Black Lives Matters? Where's all of these people that support the community and say, hey, man, we need to make sure that we bring up and hold up our people just because of their identity with all of this? How come they never do it when it comes to police officers that serve the community? If it's something that's sensationalized that they can capitalize off of and make a bunch of money off of, if it's all of those type of people, then they're going to be right there. They're going to be right there. But when it's a person that's also black, that's also serving a community, and it's a police officer, you hear zero, zilch, nada. They play games. Oh, D.O. Hughley, let's go and debate inside of my school that ain't never going to open up in life and history. Let's go and debate inside of my bando. But no love for the police officers.
This is one of those pains that will not go away anytime soon.
With 2 officers suffering gunshot wounds and a city in mourning for Officer Darren Burks, who entered the Dallas Police Academy last year, Sheldon...
Look at the idiots. Look at the idiot. Look at his name. The police did it to themselves by not reporting the bad cops when they do wrong. Jesus Christ. I want you to report your cousin Mook Mook too. Because this is a rookie cop. And it ain't the police do it to themselves. We might as well say black people do it to themselves. We might as well say that your punk ass family did it to itself. Cocaine on the wood grain. Cocaine on the wood grain. How did these motherfuckers even come to be subscribers of my channel to be able to type in my chat in the first place? You hear yourself? You dumb motherfucker. You an idiot. You an idiot in real life. Hey, ban this motherfucker. I don't even want him as a subscriber. Get him up out of here. Get him. Sometimes we got to make an example of somebody just to illustrate a point. Him. Moderators, get that motherfucker the fuck out of here. Let's continue.
Smith, Black Police Association, says it's time to remind that police lives matter too.
And the person that would risk his life for you, drive 100 miles an hour to get to you to help you, never met you in your entire life, but they'll risk their lives for you, you shoot and kill him?
So we'll know more about the incident, how it played out, in about an hour when Chief Eddie Garcia holds that media briefing. We should also then learn something about the man who killed one officer and tried to kill 2 others. Sad, sad story.
Nah, one of the things that I always say is that we don't tolerate extreme levels of disrespect. I support police officers. I love police officers. And I will never support or I will never rock with somebody that thinks that they need to go to war with our public servants. That's disrespectful. It's absolutely disrespectful. I don't rock with it. It's something I don't stand for, and I got to make an example out of somebody. It's not about your opinion. One of the things that I don't tolerate, you can disagree, but one of the things that I don't tolerate is war against public officials. I don't support it. I don't rock with it, and I'm not going to ever co-sign that nonsense.
It is indeed. All right, so Sean, Officer Burks, he was riding in his car alone.
And Sean, obviously, we'll expect to learn more soon, but kind of explain what we know about the dynamic, why he would have been alone, other officers may have.
I want to show y'all who the killer are. Some people say, who is the killer? That's the killer. That's the person that y'all rocking with. That's the person that y'all rocking with. That's the killer. Do we fit the description? Do we fit the description? Let me say it again for the people in the back. Does he fit the description? Because it's your own kind doing all the killing here. You're trading in the bad ones for the good ones. And then you wonder why your cities and your streets is run amok. You're trading in the bad ones for the good ones. And then you wonder why your cities is run amok. God bless this police officer and his family. We wish him the best and never want to see nothing happen to a good person that dedicated his life to making this earth a better place. Let me continue on with the show. This is unfortunate that y'all are this ignorant. That some of y'all are this ignorant. Let me read some of the super chats. Tristan Smith says, I did some research and I believe that we have roughly 800,000 LEOs for a country of over 320 million. They're underpaid, understaffed, and under-resourced. Shout out to you, my friend. I appreciate you. Byron Keith Coley says, this looks like 1984. The book, did not hear my read. Working, keep going. AD Bermuda. Shout out to my people over there in Bermuda. I appreciate you. How is it says, the problem law enforcement has are Democrats. Shout out to my people over there in Canada. Boogity says, didn't they just kill a black woman over hot water a few weeks ago? Who was they? It's one individual police officer. Yoshi504 says, why marry? Y'all. Are we all in room 9? Is this room 9 or is this the Millionaire Morning Show? I didn't know that I was babysitting for all of the basehead kids. Are we in room 9 or no? Just wondering. Just wondering. Should we rename this Room 9 Morning Show or no? Who the fuck is they? Ugh, God. Yoshi says, why married families with no kids don't get help? Because y'all the ones that's going to fund all of this experiment. Woo! Patrick says, my vote may not matter, but 80 big dog respect for taking a stance against allowing negative voices. No. Listen. Y'all votes matter. Stop saying that. Even on a local level. Y'all do know that there's more people on the ballot than just the ones that's at the top of the ticket, right? There's issues and millages and proposals and all kind of stuff. How do y'all think that Proposal 47 went through in the first place that allowed for criminals to be able to ruin California? It was a proposal, meaning that it was voted on by the people. Your votes matter. All of y'all votes matter. Trust me, unless you're out of the country and you're not from here. Robert Brown says, good morning, Anton. No disrespect to the show, but where is that black activist Cornell? I don't know nothing about Cornell. Shout out to him now. Shout out to you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let me read a Cash App. Shout out to Psychedelic Sense in the building. I appreciate you, Psychedelic Sense, for supporting the platform. Thank you. You are absolutely loved and appreciated. Let's continue on with the show. Jesus, what is our people doing? Let's spend 10 minutes on this quick subject real quick. Boar's Head. Are y'all familiar with Boar's Head? So I just want y'all to be aware of what's going on before we get into the reaction video. Boar's Head has had a Listeria outbreak. Check it out. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it.
Welcome back. It's 12:22, and this next story is not for those with weak stomachs. The investigation into the deadly Listeria outbreak connected to Boar's Head Deli is continuing, and some pretty gross details have now come to light. A plant in Virginia has been linked to the deaths of at least 9 people and hospitalizations of about 50 others across 18 different states. Nate Foy has more.
Newly acquired records show this Boar's Head processing plant in Virginia has been tied to a deadly food poisoning outbreak and repeatedly violated federal regulations, including the presence of mold, insects, liquid dripping from ceilings, and meat and fat residue on walls, floors, and equipment. Victims were sickened with listeria after eating deli meats processed here. A woman who survived her bout in the hospital recounts her symptoms.
I just want to say it was hell. I've never been so sick in all my life.
U.S. Agriculture Department officials say the plant will remain closed, quote, until the establishment is able to demonstrate it can produce safe product. Boar's Head officials halted production at the plant in late July. Records didn't contain any test results that confirm listeria in the factory, but the bacteria thrives in hard-to-clean cracks and crevices. Pests such as flies can easily spread the bacteria, and once ingested, it can spread to several organs and cause all other kinds of complications.
And what can happen is the listeria, the pathogen can cross from your gut into your blood and causes invasive illness.
Boar's Head has recalled more than 7 million pounds of its products.
When in doubt, throw it out. So if you have deli meat sitting in your refrigerator, or quite frankly in your freezer, and you don't know where it came from, I would recommend being.
Let me tell you something, bro. That's the type of stuff that'll make me go over to being vegetarian, man. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. It's the type of stuff that'll turn you into being a vegetarian, because one of the worst things that's happening to us is our foods, man. Our foods are absolutely trash. And you don't even realize it, really, because you can hear about it. You know what I'm saying? You can watch a Netflix documentary about it, but you'll forget, and then you'll see that good old bacon that's sitting there on the side. But let me tell you, bro, you don't even realize it until you get out of the country. When you get out of the country, and that's one of the biggest things that I think that people don't go to India. Let me preface this by saying don't go to India, all right? Of all of the places that you can go for a food experience, maybe not all of India, but don't go to the regular parts of India where it's overpopulated and you got 1 billion plus people out here cooking food with their feet, all right? But go to the other clean places so that we don't be having foodborne illnesses. But when you go over to other countries, I like to often at times refer to Tokyo, Japan, all right? Over in Tokyo, Japan, man, it just tastes different. The food tastes different naturally. You don't need no extras on it. You don't need no ketchup. You don't need no hot sauce. You don't need no extra, none of that. It's just perfectly seasoned. It just tastes good. It's so flavorful. You can tell when you start to go over to overseas how many preservatives and all of the different things and sugar and extra flavoring and color number 7s that's in that junk, because that junk just tastes it. You can't even describe it. It's like flavorful without sugar. It's flavorful without the extra sugar. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. So you don't even realize it until you get out of the country. But let me play it. Let me go into this a little bit more.
Bugs, mold, and mildew. That is what inspectors say they found at a Boar's Head plant.
Why are inspectors only going in once they start to see people die? I thought that inspectors were supposed to be there in order to do preventative maintenance. Let me tell you something, bro. Every restaurant that I've ever been involved in, whether there was mine, whether I opened it myself, or I was a silent investor in it, we had to be on top of everything for them food inspectors to come in. Real talk. You had to make sure this was separated from that. No, when I be seeing even the videos that's inside of the United States of America from these restaurants, like I went down a dark path on YouTube before and Instagram and stuff, and I've seen, where it be rats crawling up and through the pop-ass chicken closed place and stuff like that. One of the nastiest things that I've ever seen in my entire life is back when I was a little kid. I was a little kid, and my grandmother and them, they had opened up some restaurants or whatever. But no, not even during that time. It was when I was a teenager, and my uncle had ran a restaurant, and they had opened up some restaurants. But before they actually selected the location and wound up building it out themselves, they went and looked at previously owned restaurants. Now, one of the things that I teach people, if you looked at some of my master classes inside of the Patreon, if y'all not a part of the Bag Chasers, you need to go through and watch all of those videos. Even the older ones, you need to go back and watch those videos. One of the things that you can do in order to circumvent having to meet new requirements as far as being grandfathered in as far as what the requirements are, right? When you build out a restaurant, you got to put in a certain hood, right? You got to put in certain cold air, taking the bad air out and bringing better air in, right? The cold air, I forgot what his name or whatever, right? But all of the different regulations and the bathroom has to have this, and you can't have this many seats in it if it's this, and if it's not, doesn't have both a men's and a women's bathroom that's available to the general public, then you can't expand the seating past a certain amount, depending on what your state is, your county and your city and all of that. But all of them have different rules. But you can usually grandfather your way into the older rules as far as not having to invest as much money into a restaurant if you then take over what a previous restaurant was already approved for. So what we did was we started evaluating and hunting through the different restaurants by how. Thank you for the PayPal. I'm going to read that shortly. We went and looked at some of the previous restaurants before we decided to build our own. And let me tell you, man, nope. I remember we went into this previously owned Asian restaurant who was no longer there, and they left their freezers in there and stuff like that. They had the big freezers that they would keep all of the meat in. Man, we went inside of that freezer. It was blood everywhere and stuff like that. I said, nope. I honestly, and I know this was a this was a disservice to all of the other Asian restaurants and stuff like that, other Chinese food restaurants. I didn't even eat Chinese food for at least 2 years after that. After I went into some of them Chinese food restaurants that used to be there and some of these old restaurants, I would cut out the entire palate before I would go and eat there. Until I had went to P.F. Chang's, and so I had got my appetite back for it. But some of the stuff that you see in these restaurants is crazy. And I would always ask myself, how were they even able to pass inspections to get to the point to where they're able to sell food to the general public in the first place? Because they will be on me. On and on and on. And dog, you had to have, if you had the food thing, you know how they had the little containers or whatever, it had to be at a certain temperature. All of that stuff, bro. They played no games whatsoever.
That's been linked to a nationwide Listeria outbreak that's being blamed for at least 9 deaths. The health violations are detailed in records released by the Agriculture Department. Some specifics include insects in or around deli meats, mold and mildew near sinks where employees wash their hands, a, quote, rancid smell in a cooler, and leaking or pooling water in the plant. One puddle so bad it had, quote, green algal growth inside. Crazy.
And Boar's Head is supposed to be like a high-end product. When you go into it, and this is how you know marketing is everything. Marketing is everything. So take that for what for what it is. But when you go into it in a grocery store and you see Boar's Head, it's supposed to be like a higher end, a better quality of product that they're selling in the grocery stores. But when you actually go to the source of how they make it, the marketing is much different than what it is that they make it like.
Barbara Kowalczyk joins us now from Washington. She's the director of the Institute for Food Safety and Nutrition Security at the George Washington University. Thank you so much for joining us. How does it get this bad? How does this happen?
Well, thank you for having me. And I think it's very unfortunate that it got this bad. Clearly, there were multiple breakdowns in food safety systems, both within the establishment. Listeria monocytogenes is a pathogen, a very deadly pathogen that we know.
They're just going to rebrand. A lot of people saying Boar's Head is over. No, you can change it. You can do Boar's Legs. It don't have to be Boar's Head. It can be something completely different. Just rebrand, repackage, and we back in business, baby.
Associated with ready-to-eat products like deli meats. There's been numerous outbreaks in the past. But obviously, there were breakdowns at the establishment when you look at all these inspection reports around sanitation, around physical hazards, around record
now
keeping.
They shut it down because
was
people
repeated
died.
over time, which suggests that there were organizational and cultural issues in the establishment around food safety. Unfortunately, our regulatory system also had a failure in that this problem went on for quite some time, despite documentation by inspectors, but yet the plant wasn't closed down or they didn't recall the product.
Barbara, tell us what happens. Walk us through a typical inspection for something like this for people who may be buying any kind of deli meat from now on. Like, what's the normal course of events? How does it go?
Right. Well, first of all, I'm not an inspector. I'm an academic. But under USDA regulations, every plant that produces meat and poultry products has to be inspected on a daily basis. So that means that every day an inspector goes through, they know the regulations, they're going to document those, check to make sure that the establishment's meeting those regulations. And when they don't, they write what's called a non-compliance report, or it's sometimes referred to as an NR. And those NRs document problems in the plant. And what was released shows that over the past year, there have been multiple violations, as you already pointed out, that suggest ongoing sanitation issues. Meat and protein residue on equipment, on the walls, and that suggests that they weren't cleaning as thoroughly as they should.
That's nasty, bro. It's nasty. Like I said, every day I be thinking to myself, it's time to switch over to that vegetarian. We're going to make the transition one day. We're going to get there. Let me read a couple of the super chats, and then we're going to get to the last part of the show. I'm so surprised that so many of y'all in here on a Monday, on this holiday Monday. But shout out to y'all. Y'all loyal. I like that. Y'all make sure y'all get this work. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Kung Fu Hustler says, I used to have an anti-authority mentality as a teen because I thought that the government was always taking advantage of its citizens. I grew up, though. Shout out to you for growing up, man. Shout out for a lot of us for growing up. Seek the Light in the building says, people want to treat cops collectively, but not black people. Exactly. Oh, then they become the victim. Anton, the biggest story is corruption in Illinois politics. It's the most corrupt in the country. Tiff is a stone in the stream. I don't know, man. It's some pretty corrupt places. You'll be surprised. What about all the way at the top? Lawrence Daniels, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Tech Coach Ralph is in the building. Says, when all the people think their vote doesn't matter, they let 10% of the population control 100% of the policies. Then they want to protest. Scooby Don says, AD, rest in peace to that cop. But a lot of these officers coming into the department lack self-awareness and are too trusting. I work and turn them, and they foam more than the job. My department got it serious on that. Shout out to you, Scooby Don. I appreciate you. Rashawn Irving says, keep the name, but then again, change to Room 9. Maybe Room 9 people would come on here and learn something positive other than nonsense. Shout out to you. Aaron L is in the building, says, they don't understand that the primaries matter too. Most of the districts are so one-sided locally that if you wait until the general election, the candidates are unopposed. Vote in every election. Be an informed voter. Anthony Boom is in the building. Says, I remember when I used to have dreads and get pulled over all the time. Now that I got a bald head, the police don't look my way. They don't bother me either, big dog. Matt Washington says, dang, man, I just ate some bacon. Shout out to the bacon. Anthony Boom says, Boar's head is about to make me a vegan. Wake up, people. Black Beauty is in the building, says the inspectors were likely paid off to pass. A7 Keys says, real talk, shout out to my vegan plant-based fam. Shout out to the plant-based fam in the building. Blue Boston Terriers Rock says, Boar's Head and other corporations are hiring and promoting third world migrants. The cleaning standards everywhere is declining. Messi, shout out to Messi, mathematician. Hey, Anton, this is why RFK was such a threat, because he was directly targeting the health of the people. Sickness is too profitable for these agencies to be scrutinized. Yeah, they had to get him up out of there. He wasn't a part of the establishment. Fade TV says, ran into Mark Cuban at the gym and we got into a debate, which continued in my DMs. He said, vote for Cam because he and her advisors will be running the country, not her. So who would you rather have, me, Cuban, or Trump? Trump. That's why he was debating with Vivek Ramaswamy so hard. Go to a local farmer for your meat. Shout out to Aaron L. I appreciate you. Also, Patrick says, I meant my vote in the chat, not at the polls for your information. Oh, okay. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. All right. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into this last part of the show. So it's a woman that recently went viral. We literally only going to spend 10 minutes on this one because I got a flight to catch. It's a woman that's recently went viral. And the reason that she went viral is because she got fired on the job, yet she still felt entitled. I haven't seen this yet, but people sent this to me. And since it was more financially motivated, I thought that this would be better suited for the Millionaire Morning Show instead of the Anton Daniels channel. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's see what's happening.
Okay, can you, I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah. Hi, Tatiana. This is Shelly from HR.
Shout out to Tatiana.
From HR, okay. No, I don't remember you, but what's going on?
Well, we had a discussion a couple weeks ago about your absenteeism and tardiness.
Okay.
Do you know what time you have to be clocked in at work?
6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 a.m.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, on 7/18, you clocked in at 6:12.
Wow.
We had a discussion about that.
12 minutes.
Yeah, but you know they're waiting on you to be there, clocked in and ready to work at 6.
Okay.
So.
Hold on. Let me stop. We gotta replay this from the beginning. All right. And I always like to give credit to the content creators. So that link is gonna be down in the description. Y'all attitudes is the worst. And I just gotta bring my ladies to the front of the congregation, specifically my black women. Listen, some of y'all attitudes and y'all demeanor, y'all got some of the worst attitudes that I've ever seen in my entire life for something that you signed up and agreed that you were going to do and be there on time to do. Don't y'all realize that other people can't do their jobs if you don't do your job successfully? And she's sitting there like, 12 minutes with her nails and her tattoos and her bonnet on. Is that a bonnet? No, that ain't a bonnet. That's just that middle part bust down. But is that a bonnet? Oh, let me see. That might be a bonnet. I don't know. Let's start this from the beginning. I want to get the full context before I react to it. But I'm just going to say, y'all attitudes is crazy. How y'all going to record yourselves getting fired on TikTok? And you going to have a bad attitude about it? This is why I don't be wanting to hire certain people, man. But, yep, that looked like a bonnet. Let me go ahead. I'm going to play this whole thing. I'm going to play the whole thing, and then we're going to go from there.
Okay, can you, I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah. Hi, Tatiana. This is Shelly from HR.
From HR, okay. No, I don't remember you, but what's going on?
Well, we had a discussion a couple weeks ago about your absenteeism.
So she was already on a PIP. That's when you're supposed to tighten up.
You have to be clocked in at work?
6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 a.m.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, on 7/18, you clocked in at 6:12.
Wow.
We had a discussion about that.
12 minutes.
Yeah, but you know they're waiting on you to be there, clocked in and ready to work at 6.
Okay.
So that means, let me just say this for the people in the back. You don't clock in at 6. You don't clock in at 5:59. You don't clock in at 5:58. I know a lot of y'all like to slide, and then y'all be out there tearing up, about to get in an accident, causing an accident, because you're trying to get to work because you late every single day, and you slide in right there at 5:59. Listen, that when she says you're supposed to be clocked in and ready to work, that means that if you're not there at least 15 minutes ahead of time, then you late. It's not even about the 6:12. It's about the fact that if you clock in at 6 o'clock or 5:59, you are late. Being ready to work does not mean getting yourself ready to work at 6 o'clock.
Really going to be terminated as of today, because also on 7/28 you clocked in at 6:21.
21 minutes.
Yes. 21 minutes.
That's 21 minutes of company time.
But I still work though. Like I still like. Why didn't y'all tell me that today when I was just at work?
Because we letting you go today.
Because I handle all the HR, so they wanted me to call you because we had that discussion, remember, about...
And that was the day that I let my... all right, keep going.
So you were also on 8/8. You clocked in at, like, 6:32.
That was... Okay, so I let my cousin use my car the night before, and...
Jesus Christ. This is why Jesus and all of them gonna be replacing y'all soon. This is why Jesus and them is gonna be replacing y'all soon.
He didn't bring it. He overslept or something. He didn't bring it back till the morning. So like, I still made it though.
Literally like 9 days after we talked. So, and then on 8/12, you just did a no call, no show.
That was my birthday, August 12th. That's my birthday. Like, I already
You didn't
told you.
request that day off work though.
But y'all know, that's my birthday. Though. I'm not.
Birthday.
No, that's fine. All right. Okay.
Everyone works on their birthday. Even I worked on my birthday.
Y'all too grown for me.
Well, unfortunately, I just need you to turn your keys in. And
I'll be there tomorrow, because that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, what? Like, what? What?
I was born in a different era. I don't know if anybody has ever taught y'all exactly what you're supposed to do. I never had to be taught, honestly. I never had to be taught to be to work on time because I'm not messing up my bag for nobody. You know, you can't borrow my car. I've never loaned the car out unless I had an extra car, and I was still apprehensive as a result of that. Nobody ever told me that I had to be on time. That was just automatically expected in life. I knew I had to be on time because I was trained my whole life from the bells that was going off in school that I had to get to school on time. And it was crazy from where I was going to school because in high school, we had 8 floors. Let me say that again for the people in the back. I'm not sure if it's anybody in this that actually was in Detroit that went to Cass Tech, the old Cass Tech, not the new Cass Tech. All right, the new Cass Tech is pretty large, it's big, it's a nice, beautiful building. I took the tour before, I did all of that, right? But in the old Cass Tech, it used to be a pickle factory and it was 8 floors. And no, we did not have elevators that we could use. We had to go and track 8 floors. I remember having a class that was on the 7th floor. 7th floor. The 8th floor was when we got a little, that was a little closed off. It was supposed to be a little bit of hanky-panky. But I had to get from the 2nd floor to the 7th floor. And my teacher on the second floor was talking too long, but we had to make it up to that 7th floor. And so you hiked them stairs. Oh, you went there, DJ Ace? We had to hike them stairs. Yes, it was a monster, but we had to do it, and we grinded, and we went and got it. You was going to get in shape when you was going up and down them stairs every day, all day. But I do think that this is a reflection of what most people are. This is a reflection of what most people do. Most people have this bad attitude and this bad disposition towards their employers. They think that we supposed to recognize their birthday. And it's even worse in 2024 going forward because y'all know, especially my ladies, my Mercedes, hold 4 in the back, 2 if you're fat, get the gap. Y'all don't just celebrate for a day. Y'all think that the whole month is y'all birthday. I don't know where y'all got this from. Y'all take whole weekends, whole weeks, and whole months. You be like, it's my birthday month. I'm sorry, when was your birthday? September 2nd. But my birthday is this whole month. I can't tell you how many women told me that their birthday was the whole month. I can't tell you how many women told me that their birthday was the whole month. They celebrating all month. They expecting gifts all month. If you didn't get paid last week, then you want to get paid this week. Hey, did you get my Cash App request? I seen one girl, she got so out of control. I guess she found me on the internet. She realized that I was who I was. She sent me a Cash App request for $2,000. Ma'am, I've never given you one dime. What made you think that I was going to give you approve you for $2,000? But I mean, it's just a whole new generation. It's a different type of people. So I think that she is a reflection of most of the people that I see today. Most people are lazy. They don't want to work. They sliding into work just in time. They get mad at their supervisor for holding them accountable. And when they get turned into HR, when they got to account for HR, they always saying who snitched instead of I apologize, it'll never happen again. So it's a whole different thing out here. So yeah, man. Be careful. Don't get fired on your day off. And be more like me. It's the holiday, and we still getting it in. And I'm expecting y'all to tune in for the Q show tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to hold me down. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. But guess what? I got a flight to catch because I got to go and shoot another show. I love you. I appreciate you. We're going to be doing a Millionaire Morning Show tomorrow, but we're doing it from Dallas. We're doing it in the hotel room in Dallas because we don't miss. Under no circumstances do we ever make excuses. Let me read a few of these super chats, the rest of these super chats, and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here. First of all, I want to acknowledge the PayPal. Shout out to, hold on, let me see. Aaron Purdue says, I'm blocked from super chatting. Trump wins. We have a lot of Lockheed C-17s and Dash 1 Bravo parachutes. Airdrop all undocumented into Venezuela. Get flights F-22 air cover. Slam the border. Shut except for trade and legit crossing. Sign a joint pacto with Mexico and help secure their borders with Belize and Guatemala as an US military station on that border. And any crossers into Mexico on site. Mexico shot on site. My girlfriend is from Mexico. This border crisis is destroying Mexico actually worse than the U.S., but all of the people going across the borders is 10 times worse. Thank you, my friend. Shout out to you for holding me down. I appreciate you on PayPal. Thank you for absolutely continuing to tap in. Tristan Smith is in the building. Tristan says, well, damn, no more subs from Publix from me. George Fleet says, first time super chatting. Long time viewer, love the show. Shout out to George Fleet. I appreciate you. Aaron L says, another Aaron L. Nah, we got to fight for that name, big dog. Aaron L says he don't want you to have that. Oh, he hit you right after that. Says, I think it's spelled differently, my brother. No need to fight to the death. See, he the nice one. He spelled his name Aaron a little differently than yours. Mr. Guap says, no lie, Anton, every single Tati I ever met acts exactly like this. Tatiana's equal toxic. Shout out to you. Sean B says, you seen the news article where the government mistakenly sent the salad man 239 million? Yeah, I did see that. It's not being covered by none of the news outlets. I did see that. Lee Barton says, I was told if you're late to work, you're late on your bills. And you'll be late to your funeral. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. And to be late is to be forgotten forever. That's a new one. I know the early and on time, and to be on time is to be late, but I ain't know about that last one. Love in Dayton, Los Angeles is in the building. Says gang members used to wear chucks. Now unaccountable women wear ponytails and lace fronts. Bonnet Logic. Shout out Love in Dayton and Los Angeles. Young Haiti in the building says, AD, she's entitled. That's her company. It was her birthday, like someone care. Jay Miller says, I wonder who raised her. E. Davis says, I went to the old Cass Tech. We were in the best shape ever. Man, it was hard getting up and down them stairs sometimes. Unbiasedly Raw says, y'all too grown for me. No wonder the baby daddies is childish. Chadford Morris is in the building, says, it's really unfortunate with the team members being on time. I've had to coach and write up multiple people for not clocking in and on time. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. And then the immaturity of some adults is insane, says JC. Thank you, JC. Thank you to everybody that was tuned into the Millionaire Morning Show on the holiday. Y'all didn't have to get up in order to be able to kick it with your boy, but I appreciate you. I love you. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I got a flight to catch, and we don't miss. So I'm expecting to see y'all tonight for the Q show, and I'm also expecting to see you tomorrow morning for the Millionaire Morning Show. I love you. I appreciate you. Take care of each other and yourselves. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.